If she tells you this, she's emotionally invested. Hidden female psychology explained, Old Stoic wisdom. What most men miss about women's deepest signals. Love is composed of a single soul inhabiting two bodies. Aristotle. A woman doesn't always say you're special with grand gestures or poetic declarations. Often, it's in the quiet, almost unnoticeable moments, the ones she doesn't share with just anyone. When she opens up about the pain she's buried, the scars time hasn't quite healed, or the dreams she barely dares to speak aloud, that's not just conversation, that's trust. And in a woman's world, trust is everything. She's not handing you just her stories, she's showing you her unguarded self. That means you're no longer on the outside looking in. You've stepped into the space where very few are allowed, her emotional sanctum. This isn't casual, this is sacred ground. In today's video, we're diving into those subtle but powerful emotional cues, the ones that reveal when a woman is deeply invested, even if she hasn't said the words out loud. From hushed confessions to emotional transparency, these are the signs that say, unmistakably, you matter to me. And if she's let you into that world, my friend, whether you realize it or not, she's already placed her heart in your hands. Number 1, her biggest regrets. Listen closely. Gentlemen, when a woman begins to open up about her deepest regrets, you're not just hearing idle chatter, you're being invited into the vault of her soul. Don't mistake this for a casual confession. This is sacred ground. Regret, for her, isn't some passing emotion. It's etched into her bones, a quiet echo of paths not taken, of fears that once ruled her, of loves that ended before they should have. When she speaks of the job she never dared to chase, the city she never moved to, the love she let slip through her fingers because she didn't think she was enough, that's not just nostalgia. That's emotional vulnerability wrapped in raw truth. That's where Old Stoic wisdom becomes your guide. The Stoics understood people carry their pain like armor, not to protect others from it, but to protect themselves from exposure. So when she sets that armor down in front of you, don't fumble, be still, be steady, be the iron mind she hopes you are. This kind of sharing doesn't come out of nowhere. It's intentional, and it's telling. She's not testing you, she's entrusting you. That's a whole different level. She sees something in you, something sturdy. A man built on Stoic principles, a man who won't crumble when faced with someone else's ghosts. Because that's what regrets are, ghosts. Lingering remnants of decisions she can't undo. If she's showing you those, it means she believes you're not just strong enough to witness her pain, but wise enough not to try to fix it. She doesn't want a savior. She wants a witness, someone who can look into the dark with her and not flinch. Don't brush it off. Don't minimize it. Don't offer cliché comfort or polished advice. That would be an insult to her bravery. Be the calm in the storm. Be the one who holds steady when the air gets heavy. That's what an iron mind does. That's what a man who lives by Old Stoic wisdom must do. Because here's the truth she won't say out loud. If you can carry her regret with grace, she'll start to wonder if you might be able to carry her heart with the same strength. That's the real message behind the words. She's not just talking. She's reaching to see if you'll lean in. Reaching to know if your masculinity is laced with empathy. Reaching to see if you understand that true connection isn't built on perfection, but on shared imperfection. Stoic principles teach that emotion must be observed, not feared. Let this be your practice. Let her words in, let them echo. And then stand there, not as a judge, not as a fixer, but as a man rooted in self-control and resilience. A man who doesn't run when things get heavy. A man who knows that listening, truly listening, is one of the most courageous acts of all. If she tells you about her biggest regrets, it's because she's quietly hoping you'll be the man who doesn't just hear her, but sees her. That's emotional investment. That's hidden female psychology in its rawest form. And that, gentlemen, is your signal. Don't miss it. Be the presence she can rely on. Not just the voice she can talk to. That's Old Stoic wisdom at work, showing up, staying grounded and honouring her story, even the broken parts, especially the broken parts. Number 2, her insecurities and doubts. Gentlemen, listen carefully. If a woman looks you in the eye, and instead of flattery or flirtation, she offers you something else, something raw, like doubt, fear, or insecurity, don't just sit there. Pay attention. That's not just small talk. That's a revelation. When she starts to unravel her insecurities in front of you, it's not weakness. It's not drama. It's a signal. And in the silent language of hidden female psychology, it's one of the loudest signs of emotional investment. You see, the world tells her to be perfect, to smile, to pose, to act like she has it all figured out. Society demands perfection, then shames her when she can't maintain it. So when she lets you behind the curtain, when she shares that she sometimes feels not good enough, or that she overanalyzes your silence, or that she compares herself to women she thinks you might want instead, that's not her fishing for compliments. That's trust. That's connection. That's vulnerability, weaponized in the name of love. She's telling you, here's what I hide from the world, and I'm choosing you to see it. And don't miss this. She's not asking you to fix her. She doesn't want a repairman. She wants a witness, a companion, a man who can hold her emotions like a stoic, not with cold indifference, but calm presence. Yes, she might worry that she's too emotional, too needy, too independent, too much, or even not enough. But that's not about weakness. That's about depth. A woman with doubts is a woman who cares. And when a woman cares, her inner world opens like a book, and she's asking you to read, not skim. So what do? You don't mock, you don't minimize, you don't retreat. Be present, be still, be kind. Remind her, without grand gestures, that you see her, that you're not looking for a perfect image, but for truth, that you admire the courage it takes to be real in a world addicted to filters. This is where practical stoicism matters. This is where you stop being the man who reacts and become the man who responds, with steady presence and quiet strength. Because real stoic rules don't mean emotionless. They mean mastering your own emotions so you can hold space for hers. It's easy to stick around when she's glowing, confident, magnetic. But can you sit with her in her shadows? Can you listen to the things she whispers when she thinks they'll make you run? If you can, you're walking one of the ancient paths of wisdom. The Stoics taught us to see through illusions, to value what is, not what looks good. And brother, when she's handing you her hidden fears, she's handing you truth. Not every man gets there. Most turn away. They crave the high, the thrill, the Instagram version, but not you. You've walked through some storms. You've sharpened your soul with scars. You know that love isn't found in fireworks. It's revealed in whispers, in late-night confessions, in silent trust. So if she tells you that she feels insecure, scared, unsure, don't just nod. Lean in. Hear the music in her honesty. Understand what she's really saying. I'm emotionally invested. I've let my walls down. Now what will you do? Don't fumble that moment. Don't rush to fix her or reassure her with cliches. Be the man who knows how to listen without judgment. Be the man who stands still when the world tells you to run. Be the man who walks the paths of wisdom, not the paths of ego. And most of all, don't take her vulnerability for granted. That's sacred ground. Tread with honor. She's not performing anymore. She's showing up, messy and magnificent. And that, my friend, is love's truest test and love's rarest reward. If you found this eye-opening, give it a like, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more timeless wisdom on love, connection, and understanding. Comment to remember I accept her as she is, because she is already enough. Drop that in the comments to anchor this truth, and to show you're the kind of man who sees beyond the surface. Number 3, her most embarrassing moments. If she tells you about her most humiliating, cringe-worthy, laugh-out-loud blunders, listen carefully. That's not just small talk. That's a massive sign, a breakthrough, a signal that she's emotionally invested, and she doesn't even need to say the words. She's inviting you into a space very few ever see. When a woman reveals the bloopers of her life, the coffee spills before a big meeting, the wave to the wrong person, the awkward text sent to the wrong name. She's not just being funny. She's letting her guard down. That's not comedy. That's courage. And courage, my friend, is the foundation of emotional intimacy. She's showing you who she is when the mask comes off. She's saying, I trust you to hold this part of me, not judge it, not mock it, but honor it. That's a silent vow, a silent form of connection. You must understand this. Most people bury their shame. They shove it into the basement of their memory, hoping it stays there, unseen. That's because we all fear being seen in our weakest moments. But if she's choosing to show you, it means you've passed an unspoken test. She sees you as safe. She sees you as strong. She sees you as someone who won't weaponize her past stumbles. And when that happens, don't minimize it. Don't laugh it off carelessly. Recognize it for what it is. A clear sign that you're no longer on the outside. You've crossed a threshold. You're now part of her inner world. Epictetus, the great Stoic teacher, said, "No man is free who is not master of himself. And in moments like these, you must master your reactions. This is not the time for mockery. It's the time for stillness, for quiet strength. Laugh with her, yes, but laugh from a place of bonding, not belittling. That's how you win. That's how you build trust that lasts. This is Stoicism win in action, composure, respect, and emotional discipline. In today's world of shallow texts, fast flings, and digital masks, when someone shows you their true, unfiltered self, it's sacred. Don't brush it off. Don't joke it away. Don't miss the moment. Most men will, but you're not most men. You're learning to see what others miss. You're learning the language beneath the words. This is how real connection is built, not through grand romantic gestures, but through the small, raw, honest stories that reveal the human behind the performance. That's where real love grows, not in perfection, but in imperfection shared openly. Let's be clear, vulnerability is not weakness. Vulnerability is strength under control. It's exactly what the Stoics spoke about, facing discomfort, facing judgment, and choosing to be authentic anyway. That's what she's doing. She is taking a risk, and you are the test. If you respond with strength, presence, and warmth, you pass. If you mock or ignore, you fail. So don't just nod. Lock in, absorb the story, feel the honor in it. Encourage her openness. Show her with your body language, your tone, your eye contact, that this is a moment you respect. That's how you lead. That's how you build depth. That's how you win. Again, Stoicism win means controlling yourself so others feel safe to lose control in your presence. Modern men are losing this art. We're trained to flex muscles, not character. But if you want to win with a woman emotionally, this is the battlefield, and this is the victory, quiet, unseen, and permanent. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the colour of its thoughts. And when your thoughts are anchored in patience, respect, strength, you become the man she confides in, not just the man she dates. You become the fortress in a storm. You become her peace, her release, her freedom." So remember this. If she's laughing about her failures with you, she's showing you her truth. If she's revealing her lowest moments, she's offering you her trust. If she's choosing to be vulnerable, you must choose to be steady. That is the moment to rise. That is how you win. That is Stoicism in action. That is how a man masters life. Don't take it lightly. Don't miss the sign. Don't be average. Be solid. Be still. Be the one she can trust. Number 4. Her past struggles and challenges. Don't miss this one. This is not just a casual share. This is a door opening, slowly, deliberately, and only for you. When a woman tells you about the weight she carried in silence, she's not giving you gossip. She's giving you proof. Proof that she's not afraid of truth, that she's fought, fallen, healed, and is still here. If she's telling you about her years of holding it all together, it's because she's testing the strength of your presence. Maybe she talks about a friendship that drained her, a family that loved with terms and conditions, or nights spent battling that old, quiet enemy called loneliness. And she tells you not with drama, but with a calm edge. like someone who survived a storm and now studies the clouds with a different kind of knowing. Old Stoic wisdom reminds us a person who speaks of suffering without seeking pity has already done the hardest part. They've owned their pain. That's iron mind in action. She isn't dumping problems in your lap. Don't confuse it. She's showing you the places where the armor cracked and where the light got in. That takes guts. That takes Stoic principles. And if you're wise, you won't flinch. Don't interrupt. Don't fix. Don't start digging for silver linings. Be the calm she never had. Be the mountain. Still solid. Listening. Because when she opens that vault of memory, she's not expecting a solution. She's watching how you hold the silence. She's watching if you blink, if you judge, if you retreat, if she tells you about the time she was the glue for everyone else. While no one noticed she was crumbling, she's not complaining. She's letting you into the engine room of her soul. That's rare. That's sacred. This is where the boys are separated from the men, and the men from the Stoics. If you've lived long enough, you know it's not strength to avoid emotion. It's strength to stand in its path and remain unmoved. Not cold, but clear. So don't nod like you're just waiting for your turn to talk. Don't reduce her depth to a cute thanks for sharing. See her. Really see her. She's not asking you to be her therapist, her saviour, or her cheerleader. She's asking, silently, can I be this real with you and still be safe? And here's the deep truth, the one most men miss when a woman trusts you with her story. She's handing you something more valuable than beauty, charm, or desire. She's handing you her truth. And truth, my friend, is the foundation of every powerful bond. But here's the catch and the warning. If you dismiss it, if you belittle it, if you use it against her, even once, the vault slams shut forever. You don't get a second shot. So be wise, be worthy, be the kind of man old Stoic wisdom calls a fortress, not flashy, just unshakable. This is what emotional investment really looks like. It's not flowers. It's not flirty emojis. It's not good morning texts. It's this revealing the wounds that still sting a little, testing whether your silence is shelter or judgment. If you pass that test, you've crossed a line most men never even see. And that's where real intimacy begins. Not just bodies touching, souls meeting. Two warriors, stripped of their armour, standing in the quiet after the battle, not to fix each other, but to say, I see your scars, and I don't flinch. So don't mess it up. Don't treat her story like a casual anecdote. Honour it, respect it. And remember, Stoic principles don't mean emotional numbness. They mean strength through understanding, clarity in chaos, presence over performance. If you can master that, you become rare, and rare men are unforgettable. This is your moment to rise, to listen like a warrior, to care like a king, to live the iron mind creed, where love is quiet, but loyalty is loud, where you hold her story not with trembling hands, but with calm reverence. Be that man. Be the one who doesn't just hear, but understands. That, my friend, is old Stoic wisdom in motion. And if you find today's content very interesting, please give me a word of encouragement by commenting "very interesting" in the comments section. That is a huge motivation for us. Thank you. Number 5, her true feelings about you. You want to know if she's truly into you, if she's really emotionally invested. Here's the truth when a woman begins to share her real feelings about you. It's not just small talk or idle chatter. It's a reveal, a crack in the armour, a sacred moment. And if you're wise, if you follow the Stoic rules and don't let emotion blind you, you'll know that what she's doing isn't casual. It's a confession of the heart. She may never utter the 3 little words, I love you, especially not right away, but you'll hear it loud and clear when she says other things. She might tell you how the sound of your voice steadies her, that your calmness brings her peace, that your attention makes her feel seen in a way no one else ever has. And that, my friend, says more than any grand romantic gesture ever could. Don't ignore the quiet truth in her voice. That's simple. You always make my day better isn't fluff. That's gold. That's a woman letting you see her emotional core, the part she doesn't show everyone. She notices the details, your knack for remembering her favorite coffee order, the way you joke just enough to pull her out of a bad mood, the way you look at her when she's not even talking. These are not accidents. You think that's just politeness? Think again. That's her building a world with you in it, brick by brick, word by word. She'll begin to speak about the future, and not in vague terms. No, she starts saying things like, "We should go there next summer. I wonder what our Christmas would look like together. My friend would love to meet you someday." Don't miss this. These are the breadcrumb trails of practical stoicism, subtle, grounded signs that she's projecting her path forward, and you're standing in it. Now here's where it gets deeper. Sometimes she'll share her fears. She'll wonder aloud if she's good enough for you. She might worry that you'll leave, that she's too much or not enough. Listen closely here. This isn't drama. It's vulnerability. And it's rare. When a woman shows you this side of her, she's trusting you with her emotional armor off. That takes courage, that takes investment, and that means you matter. Don't dismiss this as insecurity. Be wise, be solid, be the mountain. This is where you lean into the Stoic rules, the ones that teach us to listen without judgment, to be present without controlling, to respond with grounded strength, not emotional chaos. Because when a woman is emotionally anchored to you, she feels with her full self. And make no mistake, she wants to be seen and safe. This is where many men falter. They get uncomfortable. They joke it off. Or worse, they ignore the moment entirely. Don't be that man. Be the man who hears her truth and holds it with care. Be the man who doesn't flinch at emotional intimacy. Be the man who knows this is a gift, not a burden. The ancient Stoics taught us that the measure of a man is not in how much he conquers, but in how well he governs himself, especially in moments that test his heart, not just his fists. Practical Stoicism teaches you to stand firm, to listen deeply, and to respond with strength that comforts, not crushes. So, next time she opens up to you, whether it's a quiet thank you, a wistful I miss you, or even a tearful confession that she's afraid of losing you, understand what's really happening. She's not being weak. She's not playing games. She's giving you the deepest compliment a woman can offer. I trust you with my heart. And that, my friend, is sacred ground. Tread with strength, speak with clarity, lead with steadiness. That is the path of the wise man. That is the way of practical stoicism. That is how you walk the paths of wisdom, with eyes open and heart steady. Now go and listen better. Number 6. Her favourite childhood traditions. Sign number 6. When she opens the vault of her favourite childhood traditions, listen, not casually, intently. Why? Because what you're hearing isn't just nostalgia. It's the sound of emotional investment. These aren't random stories. They are sacred imprints of her soul, holiday rituals, bedtime stories, the smell of her grandmother's kitchen. These are emotional anchors. They are not shared with just anyone. They are sacred, exclusive, precious. And if she's handing them to you, she's handing you the key to her emotional world. That is the truth. You must understand this. When a woman begins to reveal the echoes of her past, the moments that shaped her sense of safety, joy, and identity, she's not just talking, she's trusting. And trust is not given, it's earned. Stoicism teaches us through Epictetus. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. Apply this. Listen with the intensity of a warrior. Listen like your future depends on it, because it does. In her words, in those softly lit memories, lies the code to emotional intimacy. Do not brush it off. Do not interrupt. Do not drift. Focus. Why? Because the man who listens wins. That's stoicism in action. Calm, present, composed. She's not testing you. She's inviting you into her heart, into her history, into the foundation of what she's building with you. A woman doesn't bring up her favourite childhood traditions by accident. That story about her father's Christmas tree setup. That song her mum always played on Sunday mornings. That old movie she still watches when she's sad. It's not entertainment. It's not filler. It's emotional vulnerability. and only a man worthy of it will be given that privilege. If you're in deep. If you're not paying attention, you're out. That's the game. That's the unspoken rule. Don't miss the signal. Modern men have lost the art of listening, of noticing, of responding with strength and understanding. You must rise above that. Be better. Be sharper. Be present. This is your training ground. This is where Stoicism wins. You don't react emotionally. You absorb, you decode, you hold space, because a woman giving you her emotional history is like a general handing you the map to her kingdom. Epictetus reminds us, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. You must be the kind of man who honours what she reveals, who doesn't recoil from intimacy, but embraces it with clarity and power. Don't overlook the power of tradition. In a world of chaos, tradition grounds us. That's why her memories are more than just stories. They're structure, stability, roots, and by sharing them with you, she's weaving your name into her lineage. That's legacy. That's real. This isn't flirtation. It's foundation. Don't trivialize it. Build on it. A Stoic doesn't rush. A Stoic doesn't fumble. A Stoic holds the line. And in that stillness, in that strength, the right woman reveals everything. So what do? You listen, you lean in, you engage, and above all, you respect what she gives you. Don't joke it away. Don't change the subject. Don't diminish its value. You hold that moment like a torch. That's what men of wisdom do. That's what Epictetus would demand. That's how Stoicism wins in relationships, by mastering the emotional battlefield with calm strength and deep understanding. Victory here isn't loud. It's subtle. It's the quiet knowing that she's chosen to let you in, not because you demanded it, but because you earned it. That is the win. That is the power. That is the mark of a man who understands women, understands himself, and understands the timeless wisdom of the Stoics. So remember when she tells you about her childhood traditions. She's telling you who she really is. And if you're wise, you'll listen, not just with your ears, but with your soul, because that's the moment you stop being just a man in her life and start becoming the man of her life. If a woman shares her cherished childhood traditions with you, pay close attention. She's letting you into the sacred heart of her story. Most men overlook the depth of what that truly means. Don't be like most men. Comment below, I understand what it means when she shares her past. I'm ready to be part of her future. Number 7. Her painful experiences and trauma. Don't underestimate this moment. This isn't chit-chat over coffee. This is her soul knocking at your door. When a woman opens up about her painful past, trauma, heartbreak, childhood scars, it's not because she needs fixing. It's because she sees something in you that feels steady, still, maybe even sacred. She doesn't hand this part of herself over to just anyone. This isn't her fishing for sympathy or needing a shoulder to cry on every Tuesday night. No, this is her testing your depth, your presence, your iron mind. And if you flinch, if you look away, if you offer cliches or try to slap a silver lining on a scar that still burns, you fail the test. See, when she tells you about the time she was invisible, when she whispers that she had to survive in silence, she's not asking for rescue, she's revealing her resilience. These aren't stories, they're battlegrounds. Her voice might tremble, her eyes might water, but don't you dare mistake that for weakness. That is power wrapped in vulnerability. That is old Stoic wisdom in its rawest form, facing pain, naming it, and walking through it anyway. And you must be still. You must be unwavering. You must become the mountain she can speak to without the wind howling back in judgment. Be that grounded presence. Be the calm within her storm. Not with words, not with fixes, but with awareness, with stillness, with the kind of masculine strength that's become rare, a strength born from Stoic principles, not bravado. She might say, "This broke me," or "I almost didn't make it," and you might feel the urge to say, "But look how strong you are now." Stop. Don't gloss over her pain with positivity. That isn't what she's asking for. She's asking for you to stand still in the fire with her, not try to put it out. Listen to the tone between her words. Watch the spaces where she pauses. That's where the real story lives. When a woman reveals her trauma, she's trusting you to hold it, not solve it. She's not inviting you to be her therapist or her savior. She's asking you, in that moment, can I be seen and not judged? Can I be real and not repelled? And your answer must be clear, silent, and powerful. Be there. Be firm. Let your presence say, yes, I can handle this. I respect you more for your survival, not less. This is emotional investment on her part. It's not casual. It's a sign that she sees you as someone worth knowing, really knowing. And she hopes you're a man who lives by more than instincts and impulse. She's looking for stoic principles in your character, not charm on your lips. She wants to see that you carry the weight of life with an iron mind, not a fragile ego. She's checking to see if you can be still when the world shakes, if you can hold silence when it screams, if you can hold space without making it about you. Old Stoic wisdom tells us you cannot control what happens, only how you respond. Well, here it is. This is that moment. Will you respond with the quiet strength of a man who knows himself, or will you fumble with discomfort, try to dodge her truth, or worse, try to fix what isn't broken? Don't. Just don't. Be the man who sees her scars and says, I see you. Not I'll save you. Not that's too much. Not you poor thing. Say nothing, if you must, but let your stillness speak. That's stoic love. That's rare. And she'll know it when she feels it. Remember, when she opens up her wounds, she's not seeking a bandage. She's looking to see if her story can breathe in your presence. And if it can, if you can sit there with her, unshaken, then congratulations. You're not just someone she dates, you're someone she trusts. Someone she might even follow into the storm. Because in that moment, she's not looking for a man who gets her. She's looking for a man who holds her truth without fear. And that, my friend, takes an iron mind, old stoic wisdom, and the kind of love that doesn't flinch. Number 8, her health concerns. Health is no small talk. When a woman opens up about her health, really opens up, you're no longer a casual visitor in her life. You've been handed the keys to her inner fortress. And make no mistake, this is a test, a signal, and a sacred reveal all wrapped into one. You see, health concerns aren't just about aches, medications, or sleepless nights. They're about safety. They're about vulnerability. They're about whether she can let down her armour around you, or if she needs to keep the drawbridge raised. So when she talks about her anxiety, her autoimmune disorder, her recurring migraines, or the toll that menopause or surgery has taken on her, she's not whining. She's letting you in. That's emotional investment. That's hidden female psychology laid bare. Don't brush it off. Don't fix it. Don't get awkward. Be present, be still, be strong. In a world obsessed with fast solutions, a man who listens without rushing to patch things up is a rare and priceless find. That's Stoic rule number 1. Don't react. Observe, understand, respond with calm. This isn't about medicine. It's about meaning. Here's the truth. Gents, when a woman shares her health worries with you, she's not trying to dump her problems on your shoulders. She's trying to see if you'll flinch. Because deep down, she knows that life isn't always candlelit dinners and weekend getaways. Life gets messy. Bodies age, energy fades, emotions fray. And when that happens, she wants to know one thing. Will you stay? Will you stand there, grounded, unshaken, while she walks through fire, fatigue, or fear? Because if you will, then you're no longer just a chapter in her story. You become the spine of the book. That's the difference between the casual man and the committed one, between the man who merely dates her and the one who anchors her. And that, my friend, is what practical stoicism is all about. Not cold detachment, not icy silence, but steady, unwavering presence in the face of real life, real love, real struggle. Old Stoic wisdom never lies. The ancient Stoics, men who faced exile, poverty, betrayal, didn't chase pleasure. They embraced responsibility. They weren't fearless. They were prepared, they walked the paths of wisdom, and they walked them with eyes wide open. So should you. Let her speak. Let her show you what others never see. Let her fall apart in your presence, and don't try to sweep up the pieces. Just be the solid ground beneath her. That's what makes a man unforgettable. Not flowers or fancy texts, but showing up when she's too tired to be beautiful, but listening when she doesn't have answers, but standing firm when the storm starts brewing. That's how emotional investment is born, not in firelight, but in the quiet trust of exposed truths. So, what should you do? Don't dismiss her health talk as just venting. Don't feel helpless because you can't fix it. Be the man who stays. Be the one who listens like it matters, because it does. Be the refuge when her world gets heavy. Because when a woman trusts you with her health, she's not testing your knowledge, she's testing your soul. And if you fail to see the gravity of that moment, you don't just lose the girl. You lose the chance to become something rare, a man built on Stoic rules, grounded in practical stoicism and walking the paths of wisdom. That's no small thing. Let the world chase ease and escape. Let the noise tell you that men should be tough, silent, and unbothered. But the wisest men, the ones who've lived, lost, and learned, know this. True strength is found in calm presence. True love is forged in moments of discomfort. True masculinity is being the storm shelter, not the storm. She talks about her health. Don't flinch. Stay, listen, hold the line, and watch as the fortress doors open wide, just for you. All right, gentlemen, that's it for today. Before you go, let me leave you with this. If a woman opens up to you, not with declarations, but with her deeper truths, her regrets, her fears, her quiet moments, she's not just talking, she's trusting. That means something. So here's the honest advice. Don't rush to fix her, just be there. Listen, be present, and show up with consistency. That's what builds connection that lasts. If you found this valuable and want to understand more of what really drives female psychology, hit that subscribe button. Turn on notifications so you don't miss the next insight. Nine signs she's falling for you without saying it. Old Stoic wisdom. Love is the attempt to form a friendship inspired by beauty. Marcus Aurelius. Stop scrolling for just a moment, because what I'm about to share might already be unfolding in your life, and you don't even know it. There may be a woman in your orbit right now, someone you see often, chat with casually, maybe even work alongside, who is quietly, deeply falling for you. But she's not saying a word, and that's not by accident. When a woman begins to truly care, not flirtatiously or playfully, but with real emotional depth, she rarely broadcasts it. In fact, she often becomes more cautious. Why? Because vulnerability carries risk. She's guarding her heart, uncertain of how you'll respond if the truth slips out. Here's where most men get it wrong. They overlook these small shifts. They think she's just being polite or professional, or worse, they assume she isn't interested because she hasn't said so. But in reality, her silence may be the strongest signal of all. When a woman is mildly interested, she may flirt freely, toss out playful hints or joke about the idea of you two, but when her feelings deepen, she pulls back, not to push you away, but to protect herself. Her actions become thoughtful, deliberate, and nuanced. And if you know what to look for, the signs are unmistakable. Today, I'll share 9 quiet yet powerful signals that suggest she's not just intrigued, she's falling, and she's feeling more than she's letting on. And here's the surprising truth. If you notice even 4 of these signs, chances are she's thinking about you far more often than you realize, imagining conversations, wondering where she stands in your mind, and hoping, silently, that you feel the same. Sign 1. She remembers the tiniest details about your life. Don't ignore it. When she remembers the tiniest, most forgettable detail you once casually tossed into a conversation weeks ago, you're not just dealing with a good memory, you're seeing one of the first signs that she's falling for you. This isn't just sweet, it's strategic. Old Stoic wisdom teaches us to observe what's real beneath what's said, and this is one of those moments. She recalls your favorite childhood snack, not because it matters to her, but because you matter to her. She remembers your annoying co-worker's name, your Tuesday dentist appointment, and that offhand joke you barely remember making. Why? Because in her mind, you're not background noise, you're the headline. When a woman begins to fall for you, her focus shifts. Her brain starts tagging your words, tone, quirks, and moods as valuable data. It's a subconscious prioritization. It's what the Stoics would call emotional investment. When logic steps back and attention sharpens, she's not just hearing you, she's absorbing you. She remembers not only what you said, but how you said it. Was your voice lighter when you talked about fishing with your dad? Did your eyes narrow when you mentioned that one regret? That's the kind of layered recall that doesn't happen by accident. That's presence, and that's care. An iron mind doesn't get distracted by noise, it locks onto meaning. That's what she's doing. She's reading you like a philosopher reads a sacred text, with intention. You must understand this kind of detail tracking isn't casual. It's intimate. It means she's forming a blueprint of your life in her mind, cataloguing it with care. Stoic principles remind us not to be fooled by words alone, but to weigh actions and patterns. This pattern, the way she circles back to something you mentioned only once, is a loud whisper from her heart. Don't brush it off. Don't call it nice. Call it what it is, a signal. It's her saying, I see you, I value you, I'm here, and here's where you need that iron mind to kick in. Don't get swept up by flattery. Get anchored in awareness. See her effort for what it truly is. Emotional investment disguised as curiosity. She'll ask about the thing that stressed you out 2 Tuesdays ago. She'll recall that your favourite movie scene is the one nobody else cares about. She'll reference a story you told at midnight when you thought she was half asleep. That's not random. That's her heart taking notes. And that's a powerful sign, because no one invests that kind of energy into someone they plan to walk away from. Old Stoic wisdom tells us, don't just listen. Observe. The signs are always there for men wise enough to see them. So be alert. Don't let your ego gloss over the depth of her attention. It's not flattery, it's connection. It's not about trivia, it's about emotional loyalty taking shape. And most of all, it's not just affection, it's alignment. You must pay attention to the signs, because while she may not say she's falling, her actions, subtle, deliberate, consistent, speak the language of someone who already has. Sign 2, her body language completely changes when you're around. Men, let's get this straight when a woman is falling for you. She doesn't always say it, but her body shouts it. And if you've learned anything from the paths of wisdom, you'll know that actions always speak louder than words, especially subtle ones. Now, this isn't just about eye contact or the way she smiles. This runs deeper. It's an energetic shift, a silent broadcast. Her entire physical presence reorients when you enter the room. Not for everyone. For you, that's no accident. Watch closely. She doesn't just glance. She positions, she leans in slightly, angles her torso toward you, finds a way to be within your orbit. Not too obvious, not desperate, just naturally drawn, like a compass needle finding north. This is old wisdom in a modern body. Stoic rules tell us to observe, not obsess, to see clearly, without illusion. If she starts sitting up straighter, adjusting her hair, or fiddling with her jewellery when you walk in, that's not just fidgeting. That's instinct. That's interest sharpening itself. Her body is making space for you, not just in proximity, but in presence. And don't ignore this. She becomes more graceful, more deliberate, like she's suddenly aware of the stage lights being on. And guess what? You are the audience. She's not doing this for anyone else. She's not performing. She's revealing. Take note if she lingers in the mirror a bit longer before meeting up with you. Not out of vanity, but intention. She wants to be seen, remembered, desired by you. This is not just romance. It's practical stoicism in motion. She's choosing her actions with care. She's showing her value, silently, but clearly. Another clue mirroring. You lean back. She leans back. You laugh loud. She lights up. This isn't copying. It's connection. Subconscious, sure, but powerful. Her nervous system is literally syncing with yours. Like a dance without music, you move, she follows. That gentleman is one of nature's oldest signals of attraction. She'll also find reasons to stay in your line of sight. She'll navigate the room with invisible intention. You'll find her in corners where she can see your reaction to things. If you're speaking in a group, her eyes will dart your way just a bit more often. That's not coincidence. That's chemistry. Now, don't mistake these signs for random friendliness. Don't be naive. Not every smile is a declaration of love, but when all these signs line up, the posture, the presence, the mirroring, the positioning, you're not imagining things. This is a lesson from the paths of wisdom. If a woman changes her rhythm around you, you matter to her. So what do? Be mindful, not overbearing. Don't call it out. Don't joke about it. Just notice. Receive it with quiet strength. That's what a Stoic man does. He sees the truth and lets it guide his next move. And remember, this love doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it curves a spine or tilts a head or smooths a gesture. And if you're wise, truly wise, you'll hear that whisper before she ever says the words. So stay sharp, stay grounded, and above all, listen with your eyes. That's not just attraction. That's affection in disguise, and practical Stoicism demands that we don't miss what matters most. If you found this insight valuable, like the video, share it with someone who needs to hear this, and subscribe for more timeless wisdom rooted in Stoic clarity. Comment to remember: I attract genuine connection effortlessly. Let us know in the comments if you've noticed this kind of subtle shift in someone's energy. Your story might inspire someone else. Sign 3. She creates reasons to text you throughout the day. When a woman starts initiating contact throughout the day, not just replying, that's not a coincidence. That's intent. That's focus. That's one of the silent signs she's falling for you without saying a word. She doesn't just send a message to pass time. She sends it because you're on her mind. Understand this. Texting has become her way of building a connection, forging a rhythm with your life. When she sends you memes, random questions, articles, or even pointless jokes, she's not being random. She's seeking intimacy. She's weaving you into her world, thread by thread. She could Google that question, but she doesn't want information. She wants interaction. And when she says, "This reminded me of you," you must hear what she's really saying. You're in my thoughts. You're part of my world. Don't mistake this for boredom. Don't trivialize it. This is a form of emotional investment, subtle but powerful. We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality. Said Seneca, don't overthink her silence, observe her actions. She texts without needing a reply. She reaches out simply to touch base with your presence. That is not noise. That is signal. That is Stoicism in modern form. Restraint with intention. When someone values your energy, they find reasons to keep it close. You must recognize this. You must see that attention is currency in today's world, and she is spending it on you. Epictetus taught, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. That applies here. If you are to be the man who leads, who sees through surface-level games, then you must learn to read what's not being said. Notice how her replies get longer, how her response time shrinks, how her words carry more weight, more care, more reflection. That's not casual. That's effort. That's intention. In a world of instant swipes and shallow connections, effort is the rarest form of affection. When a woman starts investing emotionally in your daily life, she's revealing a truth she might never say aloud you matter to her. And if you're wise, if you're grounded in Stoic wisdom, you won't chase or overanalyze. You will observe, adapt, and act. That's how you win. That's how you keep your balance. That's how you command respect, by remaining unmoved, yet deeply aware. Let's be clear, if she texts without prompt, she's thinking about you. If she shares something small and says, "This reminded me of you," she's inviting you into her inner space. If her texts grow in warmth, thought, and frequency, she's investing in something real. Don't play it cool. Play it wise, like Epictetus said. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. React with purpose. React with clarity. React like a man who knows what he wants. In modern life, where distractions dominate and attention is currency, a woman who reaches out consistently isn't just passing time, she's prioritizing you. That is rare, that is valuable, and that is one of the 9 subtle signs she's falling for you. Rooted in ancient stoicism, dressed in digital language. Don't miss it. Recognize it. Respect it. Respond with strength, with steadiness, with self-mastery. That's how you win. That's how you rise. That's how you master not just relationships, but life itself. Sign 4. She becomes protective of your time together. When a woman starts guarding your time like a treasure chest, Old Stoic wisdom whispers that something meaningful is stirring beneath the surface. She won't shout it from the rooftops or tattoo it on her forehead, but pay attention. The signs are subtle, but they carry weight. If she's slowly pulling you away from the noise, suggesting quieter, more personal spaces over chaotic group hangouts, that's not coincidence, that's intent. An iron mind recognizes that love doesn't always announce itself. It often arrives wrapped in silence and small gestures. When she says, "One more drink," or nudges you into walking a little longer after dinner, that's her trying to make the clock her ally. Stealing extra moments because your company nourishes her. Don't mistake this for clinginess. This is a woman carving out a sanctuary where your presence is sacred. Be wise enough to notice when she stiffens, just slightly. When someone interrupts your time together, she may smile and brush it off, but her energy shifts. Her eyes lose a spark. That's not drama, it's depth. She values the moment and doesn't want it fractured. A man rooted in Stoic principles sees the deeper truth. He doesn't overlook the way she recalls a story you told 3 weeks ago, or the way she remembers your coffee order without asking. Those fragments of memory. They're not random, they are evidence, clear as marble statues, that she's emotionally investing, quietly collecting pieces of your time like priceless heirlooms. That's old Stoic wisdom in motion, love, that is revealed not in noise, but in the way she protects the bond, treasures it, and honors it in her own way. Don't be fooled by modern distractions. A woman who is falling for you will start to treat your shared time not as casual, but as ceremonial. If you don't see it, you'll miss the whole point. This isn't about romance novels or Hollywood drama. It's about real presence. A grounded man, an iron mind forged in Stoic resilience, sees through the noise. He feels the meaning in a softly spoken, "Stay a little longer." He doesn't run from emotional investment. He meets it with clarity and calm. That's the lesson here. Don't overlook the quiet moments she tries to stretch. Don't brush off her memory for details or her pause when the phone rings. These are not small things. These are signs. Protecting your time together is her way of saying, without saying, "You matter to me." And if you're wise, truly wise, you won't need her to say it out loud. You'll already know. Love doesn't always roar. Sometimes it just lingers a little longer at the end of a walk. That's where old Stoic wisdom lives. Not in words, but in presence. Be the man who notices. Be the one with the iron mind. Don't miss the signs. If you find this insightful, like the video, share it with someone navigating love. And don't forget to subscribe for more timeless wisdom. Comment to remember when she protects your time. She's revealing her heart. Sign 5. She asks about your dating life in careful ways. She won't come right out and ask, "Are you single?" That would be too bold, too risky. Instead, she'll step lightly, like a cat testing the floorboards before it leaps. She'll ask you about your weekend plans. Got anything exciting lined up? She might toss out a casual remark about a friend's date or drop a story about her own past relationships. She might even mention an ex, just to see how you react to the word ex. Don't be fooled. This isn't idle chatter. This is reconnaissance. She's on a mission. She's gauging the terrain before she makes her move. She's not asking if you're single. She's asking the world around it. Pay attention to the quiet shifts. Here's where the wisdom kicks in. This isn't about what she says. It's about how she adjusts. Watch what happens when you mention another woman, even in passing. Does her voice soften? Does she grow quiet, almost pulling inward? Does she laugh a little too fast, or change the subject with a curious quickness? That's not coincidence. That's calculation, masked by subtlety. She's not jealous. Not yet. She's assessing. She's wondering if her hopes are foolish, or if they're just beginning to make sense. You must see this for what it is, a dance of restrained vulnerability. This is not small talk. It's silent strategy. There's a quote from the Old Stoics that fits here. Don't explain your philosophy, embody it. In her own way, that's exactly what she's doing. She's not declaring her feelings. She's living them quietly, waiting to see if you're wise enough to notice. This is where the Stoic rules apply to your modern heart. Don't overreact. Don't make assumptions. Just observe. Lean into the moment with curiosity, not control. That's practical Stoicism in action. Don't be the man who only listens to words. Be the one who hears meaning. A woman asking about your Saturday night isn't just curious about your schedule. She's wondering if her name could ever be penciled in. Be clear-headed. Be present. That's what the paths of wisdom demand. Decode. Don't dismiss. Some men ignore these signs. They chalk it up to friendliness, brush it off as coincidence. Don't be that man! A Stoic doesn't chase phantoms, but he doesn't dismiss the smoke if there's fire beneath it. Recognize her intent. Not everything worth knowing is handed to you on a silver platter. Sometimes, it's wrapped in quiet questions and soft detours. That is where attraction lives, in the unsaid, in the space between the lines. The takeaway read between her lines. She won't say, "I'm falling for you," but she will ask if you're seeing someone, not with words, but with curiosity cloaked in casual. When she leans in, lightly, to hear about your past or asks who's been making you laugh lately, don't dismiss it, don't stumble. That's a sign, and it's yours to read. Be wise, be attentive. That's how you walk the paths of wisdom with grace. And never forget, practical Stoicism isn't coldness. It's clarity. It's understanding the world without illusion. And that includes the gentle, brilliant ways a woman might test the waters of your heart. Sign 6. She shows genuine interest in your goals and dreams. Don't overlook this sign. Don't brush it off as politeness. This is not casual. This is not small talk. When a woman consistently shows genuine interest in your goals and dreams, when she asks about more than just your job, she's investing emotionally. She's not just checking in, she's tuning in. She wants to know what lights your fire, what keeps you up at night, what you're willing to suffer for. She wants to understand your why. That's not flattery. That's alignment. And if she follows up, sends you articles, remembers your milestones, brings up your plans with pride, that's no accident. That's intentional. That's devotion disguised as curiosity. In Stoicism, Epictetus taught that we are not disturbed by events, but by the view we take of them. The wise man sees through the noise and looks at the signals. This is a signal. And if you miss it, you lose the game before it's even started. A woman who listens to your ambitions isn't wasting words. She's casting a vote for your future. She sees your potential. She respects your drive. That is rare. That is powerful. That is how you win. She may even begin to open up about her own dreams. This is the ultimate test. Does she picture you in her future? If she's talking legacy, if she's looking for overlap, if she's daydreaming about a life you could build together, you are not just a passing chapter. You are the blueprint. That means something. Pay attention. In the age of distraction, focus is a gift. And when she focuses on your mission, she is offering something sacred: emotional partnership, strategic alliance, not just love, but loyalty. The modern world rewards superficial. Stoicism demands depth. And if you're serious about mastering your life, about building something that lasts, you must choose depth over noise. Epictetus would remind you. First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. A woman who supports that version of you. That's no accident. That's alignment. Don't chase affection. Cultivate respect. Don't settle for attention. Build admiration. If she's asking about your goals, she's testing your vision. If she's helping you get there, She's proving her value. Recognize it, respond to it, rise to it. That's how you win. In a world of flaky texts and shallow validation, this kind of attention is a battlefield advantage. Let others get distracted. Let others chase dopamine. You stay the course. Build your dream. And when she walks beside you, not behind you, not ahead of you, but beside you, that's when you know. That's real. That's rare. That's Stoic wisdom in action. It's not loud. It's not flashy. But it's relentless, consistent, powerful. Love, real love, doesn't announce itself. It supports. It shows up. It holds the line. You must hold the line too. Don't question it. Honor it. Don't hesitate. Lead. She wants to believe in your future, so make your future worth believing in. That's how you build something legendary. That's how you win. With discipline, with clarity, with stoicism. She sees you. Now it's your move. And if you find today's content very interesting, please give me a word of encouragement by commenting "very interesting" in the comments section. That is a huge motivation for us. Thank you. Sign 7. She becomes nervous and self-conscious around you. Don't mistake her nervousness for disinterest. Be smarter than that. Be observant. This jittery, flustered version of her, that's not random, it's revelation. Old Stoic wisdom teaches that people often mask their deepest emotions behind subtle signs. And this one's wrapped in stammered sentences and half-laughed jokes. When she fidgets with her hair, overthinks her words, or loses her train of thought the moment your eyes lock with hers, don't just smile and dismiss it. Recognize it for what it is: vulnerability cracking through the surface. Her iron mind, usually composed and cool, now flutters because you've shaken her foundation. That means something. That's no accident. You must understand. When a woman begins to fall for you, the emotional stakes go sky high. She's no longer simply enjoying your company, she's invested. And when someone invests their heart, they fear the loss. So don't be fooled by the stumbles in her speech or the way she seems overly conscious of how she looks when she knows you'll be around. That's not vanity. It's reverence. She's putting effort into every word, every glance, every outfit, because she's hoping she'll be seen, heard, and, above all, liked by the one man whose opinion is starting to matter more than anyone else's. That's you. That's your power. Old Stoic wisdom tells us that love doesn't shout. It reveals itself in tremors. And this tremor, it's a quiet quake. The way she laughs just a second too long at your mediocre jokes. The way she pretends to be chill, but the slight twitch in her fingers betrays her. That's the storm of affection meeting the calm front of self-control. You've disrupted her balance, and instead of pulling away, she leans in. That's the real clincher. If it were just nerves, she'd retreat. But when she's nervous and still wants more of you, that's gold. That's the kind of signal Stoic principles tell us not to ignore. Because courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the choice to stay even when you're afraid. And that's what she's doing. She's choosing you, even while second-guessing every word out of her mouth. Be wise. Be steady. Don't tease her for it. Don't make her regret showing that softness. That would be weak. Instead, admire it. Respond with the same grounded confidence that Stoic principles have taught men for generations: calm under pressure, grace under scrutiny, kindness without compromise. You must be her rock, not her critic, her safe place, not her judge. She's flustered because she feels deeply, and that depth, that's rare. In a world where most people hide behind irony and disinterest, her nervous energy is honesty in motion. It's a sign that you matter more than you think. Old Stoic wisdom teaches that true strength lies not just in enduring hardship, but in recognizing sincerity when it's wrapped in fragility. Her nervousness isn't weakness. It's evidence. It's her heart showing up, uninvited but undeniable. You're not just another guy to her. You've become someone whose presence shifts her composure, someone she doesn't want to disappoint. So don't misread the signs. Be sharp, be kind, and above all, Be the kind of man her nerves can settle around, not because she stops feeling, but because she starts feeling safe. And when you see this sign, when her iron mind trembles just a bit in your presence, don't look away. Look closer. That's love, quietly announcing itself. Sign 8. She opens up about deeply personal experiences. When a woman begins to open up to you about deeply personal experiences, her wounds, her fears, her childhood memories, the battles no one else sees, this is not small talk, and it is never accidental. This is a sign of something real, something powerful. It's not flirtation, it's not politeness, it's trust, raw, unguarded, deliberate trust. Epictetus, the great Stoic, once said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." When she tells you things she's never told anyone, she is willingly risking that very vulnerability, not because she's weak, but because she believes in you. She's testing your strength, your emotional depth, your ability to listen without flinching. She wants to see if you are the kind of man who can hold her truth without cracking, and that, gentleman, is not just attraction, it's emotional loyalty forming at the core. She's falling, silently, strongly, steadily. You must recognize this signal. You must not ignore it. You must not betray it. Don't brush it off. Don't mistake it for chatter. This is her reaching out through the noise of the world, offering you a piece of her soul. You must receive it like a warrior monk, firm, calm, unshaken. This is where Stoicism wins. Stoicism isn't about being cold. It's about being strong enough to handle the heat of real emotions without being ruled by them. When she tells you, "I've never said this before," stop everything. That's not a cue to change the subject. That's a moment to lean in. It's in those confessions that real connection is forged, and that's where modern men fail. Don't fail. Be the rock. Be the man whose presence makes her feel like she's finally home. This is not oversharing. This is sacred. When she talks about her past heartbreaks, her dreams that never bloomed, the parts of her she keeps hidden from the world, she's not looking for sympathy, she's looking for presence. Let your silence speak louder than advice. Let your eyes show that you're listening. You don't need to fix it, you just need to hold it. And that is strength. That is leadership. That is what the old Stoic masters like Epictetus meant when they talked about resilience, not just enduring storms, but becoming the calm within them. And that calm earns trust. That calm earns love. That calm wins. In modern life, most men scroll past meaning, swipe away substance, and chase distractions. But you, if you're reading this, you are not most men. You are meant to master this life, to dominate the chaos, to earn devotion not through charm, but through character. Let this moment be your turning point. When she opens up, don't retreat. Rise. Rise into your role as protector of her vulnerability. Rise into the man who doesn't just hear, he understands. Rise into the kind of presence that wins without needing to pursue. You must be the man who recognizes the rare gift of her honesty and responds with strength, not with ego, not with apathy, but with purpose. Be the one who listens like a leader, speaks like a king, and loves with courage. That is Stoicism. That is what wins. That is how you rise above the average and walk the path of mastery. So remember, when she opens up, the game changes. That is not a hint. That is not a test. That is her heart on the table. Let your presence be proof she was right to trust you. Be still, be strong, be ready, and win. If she starts revealing the parts of herself she hides from the world, she's not just talking, she's trusting. That kind of vulnerability is never accidental. Comment below. I recognize trust when I see it, and I will honor it. Let this be your reminder. Emotional intimacy is earned, not given. Sign 9. She subtly includes you in her future plans. When a woman starts weaving you into the fabric of her tomorrows, take note, not with a trumpet, but with the quiet rhythm of old Stoic wisdom. No fireworks, no tearful confessions, just soft, deliberate threads of someday and what if. It's not a coincidence. It's a quiet revolution in her heart. She says, we should go there someday. And it sounds casual, but don't be fooled. It's not about the destination. It's about your presence in that picture. You'd love this place my friends and I visit every winter. That's not just a recommendation. That's a test. That's a woman holding the blueprint of her life up to the light, squinting gently to see if your silhouette fits inside it. It's a chess move wrapped in charm. Stoic principles teach us to look beyond noise and flash. And this, right here, is where the iron mind needs to listen harder. She's not just making plans, she's laying a claim. Don't dismiss it. These aren't throwaway lines. These are soft scouts sent out by her heart. When she says, "If you ever meet my brother, you'll get along," she's not being random. She's being strategic. She's pre-screening the scenes where you might one day belong. That, gentlemen, is intention dressed in everyday talk. That is long-term thinking, wrapped in the warmth of now. And if you don't catch it, you miss the quiet music of commitment humming beneath her words. Old Stoic wisdom tells us to notice what others overlook. Be that man. It goes deeper. If she begins aligning her calendar with yours, suggesting plans months out, syncing holidays, checking in on your 5-year vision, that's not just curiosity. That's investment. That's her calculating compatibility, not just chemistry. Be alert. Be present. Don't laugh it off or dodge it. If she's asking where you see yourself in 10 years, she's not making small talk. She's mentally drawing a dotted line from her world to yours. That is not a woman passing time. That is a woman looking for timeless. And here's the Stoic punch. She won't always say it out loud. You must read between the lines, not the lines themselves. She may never say, "I see a future with you." That would be too blunt, too exposed. But she will say, "You'd love the full colours upstate. And if you're not paying attention, you'll miss the depth in that." Stoic principles teach us to be unmoved by chaos, but finely attuned to meaning. That's your job here. Not to overreact, but to observe with the iron mind. Because a Stoic man doesn't chase signs. He recognizes them. He respects the calm before the storm. And in this case, the storm is love, quietly brewing in the corners of her sentences. So don't wait for her to spell it out in skywriting. Be the man who hears what isn't shouted, who sees what's not posted. Because when she includes you in her plans, even in whispers, that's not just flirting, that's forecasting. That's a woman standing at the crossroads of caution and hope. And the ones who know how to listen, the ones who live by old Stoic wisdom, they don't miss the moment she lets them in, not with a bang, but with a gentle, deliberate sentence. Don't fumble that moment. Be sharp. Be steady. That's where love lives, right in the in-between. Thanks for watching 9 Signs She's Falling for You Without Saying It. Old Stoic Wisdom. If you found this video helpful or insightful, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow and lets me keep bringing you more content like this. I'd love to hear what you think. Did anything resonate with you? Do you have your own thoughts or questions about the signs or the Stoic approach to relationships? Drop your opinions in the comments below. I read everyone and enjoy hearing different perspectives. Until next time, stay sharp, stay grounded, and remember, real wisdom isn't loud, but it always shows up. Nine signs you're more attractive than you realize. Old Stoic wisdom. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Marcus Aurelius. Stop scrolling. This might change how you see yourself for good. You might have spent years believing you're average, ordinary, unremarkable in the eyes of women. But what if that story you've been telling yourself is completely wrong? Here's the reality. Most men never hear many genuinely attractive men go through life completely unaware of how magnetic they really are. Not because they're arrogant, far from it. It's because they're too focused on their flaws. They see their thinning hair, their aging face, their career plateau, and they miss the deeper truth. They don't realize how women actually experience them. See, true attractiveness isn't just about looks, money, or being the loudest guy in the room. It's not about six-pack abs or a luxury car. That's surface-level stuff, the kind that fades. The problem isn't that you're not attractive. The problem is that you haven't been taught to recognize the signs. You've been conditioned to believe attractiveness is something flashy and obvious. So when women show genuine interest in subtle ways, you brush it off. You assume it means nothing. Or worse, you don't notice it at all. Today, that changes. Because in a moment, you'll learn 9 clear signs that you're far more attractive than you think. Not the typical pickup artist tips or shallow lists. These are the real markers of quiet confidence and magnetic presence, especially relevant to men in their prime. If even 3 of these signs show up in your life regularly, chances are you're significantly more attractive than you realize. And when you start to see these patterns for what they are, something shifts, your confidence rises, your sense of worth solidifies, and your interactions with women, with everyone, become more natural, more grounded, more authentic. So pay attention. This isn't about ego. It's about self-awareness. And that, my friend, is what makes a man truly powerful. Sign 1. People seek out your opinions and value your input. Stop brushing it off. When people constantly ask for your opinion, even when you didn't raise your hand or clear your throat to speak, that's not an accident. It's a signal, a powerful one. This is a dead giveaway that you're far more attractive than you give yourself credit for, not just in the mirror, but in the mind. According to Old Stoic wisdom, true influence starts with internal strength, not surface shine. So when your presence alone is enough to make others lean in and say, "What do you think?" you're standing in the quiet glow of respect, and that's not something you can fake. Think about it. In group chats, meetings, dinner parties, when the room goes silent and all heads pivot to you for your take, it's not random. Even if you're not the loudest or most animated, your voice carries something deeper. That stillness, that iron mind composure, commands attention. And people feel that. They're not just being polite, they're recognizing a rare kind of presence. It's the type of presence forged from lived experience, thoughtful reflection, and the kind of calm discernment that Stoic principles teach us to cultivate. Attractive men aren't just listened to, they're heard. People remember what you say. They quote you later, not because you shouted the loudest, but because what you said meant something. That's not vanity, it's value. It's the halo effect in motion. When people perceive you as attractive, they unconsciously elevate your judgment. They assume your insights are smarter, your tastes are sharper, your words more trustworthy. So when your friend asks what whiskey to try, or your co-worker wants your opinion on a project you're barely involved in, understand they're not fishing for trivia, they're reaching for clarity from you. Men often overlook this. They think attraction is just about bone structure or biceps. Wrong. It's about resonance. It's about how your presence shapes the space you're in. If people keep turning to you for advice about their breakups, job moves, or even where to grab lunch, don't brush it off as coincidence. This is what happens when someone's inner world is compelling, when it reflects an iron mind, an anchored spirit. Old Stoic wisdom teaches that external respect begins with internal order. And when people instinctively treat your words like gold, it's because you're unknowingly showing them exactly that. And here's the twist that most men miss. This influence isn't limited to things you know well. People might come to you about politics, relationships, business, even if you've never studied a single one of those deeply. Why? Because the way you carry yourself, quietly confident, observant, measured, signals something deeply attractive: trust. That's what Stoic principles shape in a man, a sense of grounded assurance that others crave, especially in today's chaotic, noisy world. So next time someone says, "What do you think?" don't downplay it. That's not just a question, it's recognition. That's your magnetism at work. It's not loud, it doesn't wear cologne, but it pulls people in all the same. Respect it, cultivate it, own it. That's the first quiet sign you're more attractive than you ever realized. And it all begins, as the old Stoics would say, with knowing yourself, mastering your mind, and letting your quiet confidence speak louder than words. Sign 2. You get consistently positive treatment from service workers. This one's sneaky, but once you notice it, you can't unsee it. Ever wondered why the barista remembers your name without ever asking for it twice? Why the waitress gives you an extra smile and an extra dollop of mashed potatoes? Why the cashier leans in, jokes with you, and rounds down your total without blinking? It's not a fluke. It's not just good customer service. It's attraction. Whether you've realized it or not, you're more attractive than you think, and the world responds. But not with fanfare. It's subtler, more human. It shows up in the ordinary, in the way strangers in aprons and uniforms go the extra mile for you without being asked. You get faster service, cleaner tables, better seats, and it happens everywhere, from airport counters to burger joints, from coffee shops to car rentals. This is the real giveaway consistency. It's not just one person being kind. It's a pattern, repeated across places, faces and spaces, different people, different cities, same treatment. That's the signal. That's your proof. And make no mistake, this isn't about vanity. It's biology. It's behavior. It's baked into us. According to the unwritten Stoic rules of life, what nature sets in motion, we must observe, not deny. People unconsciously favor those they find pleasant to look at, to talk to be around, not because they're shallow, but because it's efficient. Attractive people trigger positive emotions, smiles, warmth, cooperation. This is part of what the ancient Stoics understood, though they never said it in these terms. Practical Stoicism isn't about pretending beauty doesn't matter. It's about recognizing it and not being ruled by it. Your looks might open doors, but your character decides whether you walk through them with grace or arrogance. So don't dismiss those moments when the bartender serves you before the guy next to you. Don't brush off the way hotel clerks suddenly find you an upgrade. It's not coincidence. It's cause and effect. People want to please you. They don't always know why, but they do. They'll bend the rules. They'll fix problems faster. They'll offer perks they don't offer others. And it's not because they have to. It's because they want to. But here's where the path of wisdom begins. Don't exploit this. Observe it. Learn from it. Let it humble you, not inflate you. Because what you're seeing isn't just a reflection in the mirror. It's a reflection in them, in the way people light up when you walk in. That's power. That's presence. That's the Stoic version of charm, unspoken, unforced, unshakable. So the next time a barista remembers your order without a word, smile back, not because it flatters your ego, but because it confirms a quiet truth. You're more attractive than you think. You just needed to notice how the world was already telling you. And remember, true attractiveness, real magnetism, is about far more than bone structure. It's about how people feel in your presence, when you're rooted in calm confidence, when you walk the paths of wisdom with a relaxed smile and straight spine. That's when people lean in. That's when life leans in. Don't ignore the signs. Be mindful. Be gracious. And always be grounded in the deeper truth beneath the surface. That's practical Stoicism in action. Sign 3. You receive unexpected compliments and positive comments. Let's get one thing straight. If people keep complimenting you, and you shrug it off as nothing, you're missing a clear sign you're more attractive than you realize. When compliments start showing up out of nowhere, from co-workers, friends, even strangers, it means you've got something. They're not just being polite. It's not small talk. It's a signal. When someone says they like your laugh, your voice, your energy, listen. That's presence. That's impact. When they mention your style, your humor, the way you walk into a room, don't dismiss it. You're leaving a mark. This isn't about vanity. It's about self-awareness. Stoicism, the old wisdom of the Stoics, especially Epictetus, taught us to know ourselves clearly and act accordingly. Know, first, who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly, said Epictetus. That includes recognizing your value when the world reflects it back at you. If you're hearing compliments in different settings, from different people, on different aspects of yourself, it's not a coincidence. It's a consistent pattern. It means people are drawn to you. They see something you may have stopped noticing. It's not always your looks, it's your energy, your voice, the way you treat people, the way you lead with calm confidence. That is stoicism. That is inner strength. That is quiet power. That is what wins. Don't downplay your gifts. Don't pretend not to notice. You must own it. Accept the praise, not for ego, but for clarity. A strong man knows his strengths. He doesn't wait for permission to walk tall. He sees the signs, and he responds with action. People remembering the little things about you, your tone, your warmth, your mindset, means they were moved. And that, my friend, is influence. That's charisma. That's the kind of thing that doesn't fade with time. It grows. In modern life, in a world obsessed with flashy images and empty noise, your authentic presence stands out. You don't need to brag. You just need to be. Walk in with purpose. Speak with intention. Show up fully. When you hear praise, let it fuel you, not embarrass you. That's not arrogance. That's alignment. Let's stop pretending we don't see the signs. Let's stop brushing off the truth that others can clearly see. If you're making a positive impact, if people remember you, if their eyes light up when you walk in, it's not luck, it's who you are. Own it. There's a battle in this world, between noise and value, between surface and depth. You win by knowing your value and living it. You win by practicing stoicism, by choosing discipline over distraction, clarity over confusion, presence over pretense. You win when you stop waiting for outside validation and start recognizing the signs already around you. Epictetus reminded us, no man is free who is not master of himself. So master this truth. If people respond to your presence with genuine appreciation, it's because they feel your strength. That's not something you fake. That's not something you force. That's something you become. Let's get serious. Let's rise. Let's walk like we've earned our place. Because we have. And when you walk like that, with real stoicism, with calm confidence, with grounded power, people notice, they respond, they compliment, and now you'll know why. Don't ignore the signs. Recognize them, embrace them, use them. You're not here to hide your power, you're here to win. If you found this insight valuable, hit the like button, share it with someone who needs a confidence boost, and don't forget to subscribe for more timeless wisdom. Comment to remember my presence leaves a lasting impression. Drop that in the comments to affirm your worth and connect with others who are realizing their quiet power too. Sign 4. People make effort to include you and spend time with you. Don't underestimate how powerful your presence is. Seriously. If people go out of their way to loop you in, to adjust their calendars just so you can make it, pay attention. That's not luck. That's not coincidence. That's a sign. You are, whether you know it or not, one of the magnetic few, the ones whose presence shifts the atmosphere without uttering a word. When you're constantly being asked to show up, when the invitations don't stop, not just tossed your way, but followed up on, nudged, confirmed. It means you've got something rare. You bring weight to a room, an invisible gravity. People orbit around it, and they feel it when you're missing. That, my friend, is the quiet power of real attractiveness, not in the shallow, surface-level sense, but in the deeper resonance you carry. And here's what most men don't realize: this isn't about being the loudest in the room or the flashiest dresser. It's about the iron mind you carry, the self-contained calm that speaks louder than words. Think old Stoic wisdom. You don't demand attention. You attract it. People feel more grounded when you're present. They feel seen, heard, and steady. You don't even have to say much. Your energy does the talking. That's Stoic principles and action power without noise, depth without display. You walk into a gathering, and suddenly conversations shift, posture straightens, faces brighten. You're the multiplier in the room. You don't take from the moment. You amplify it. Look closer. Have your buddies started syncing plans to your schedule? Do acquaintances reach out just to catch up with no real reason other than they want your company? That's not politeness. That's not filler. That's a signal. Your presence holds value. People feel better when you're near, and they know it. whether they can articulate it or not. They'll say the event's better because you showed they mean it. That's the social equivalent of gold. This isn't flattery. It's fact. And here's where the Stoic principles sharpen the lens. Don't let your ego inflate. Don't gloat, but don't ignore it either. Recognize the impact you make. Quietly, firmly. Be the man who knows his worth without needing applause. Be the one who can stand in a crowd without speaking and still be the reason the energy shifts. That's old Stoic wisdom distilled into modern relevance. Attractive men. Truly attractive men. Don't chase attention. They create a space where others want to be. That's iron mind discipline, showing up in the most unexpected ways in friendships, in invites, in how people light up when you walk through the door. So if people go out of their way to include you, don't brush it off. Don't pretend it doesn't matter. That is a signal of social magnetism that can't be faked. It's not about charisma you turn on and off. It's about the consistent presence you bring, rooted in values, strength, and a quiet kind of confidence the modern world sorely lacks. Be that man. Keep that edge. Honor the fact that people want you around, and then make sure your presence continues to earn that pull. That's not charm. That's not luck. That's legacy, guided by old Stoic wisdom, reinforced by Stoic principles, and carried by a mind forged in fire, a true iron mind. Sign 5. You notice people looking at you more often than seems normal. Let's not dance around it. You walk into a coffee shop and feel eyes brush over you. A woman glances, then looks again. Someone at the next table keeps sneaking peeks when they think you're not watching. You're out at the grocery store, and suddenly a stranger smiles just a beat too long. You chalk it up to coincidence. You tell yourself, maybe I had something on my shirt. Stop. Don't dismiss it. Don't explain it away. This is one of the clearest, most persistent signs that you're more attractive than you've allowed yourself to believe. No, you're not imagining it. When this happens, not once, but regularly, in different places, from different people, on different days, it's not a fluke. It's feedback, real-time visual confirmation. The world is reacting to your presence. That's the truth, whether or not you've been willing to accept it. They don't just glance. They notice. They remember you. They make eye contact, and they hold it. That kind of response isn't random. It's not discomfort. It's interest. And it's happening because you carry something magnetic. Call it charisma, presence, a certain look in your eyes, a walk that shows you know who you are. Maybe it's the way your silver hair frames a steady jawline, or how your calm demeanor makes others feel safe. You don't need to look like a movie star. You just need to radiate realness. And you do. Why you've been blind to it? Attractive men often don't realize they're attractive. Why? Because you've been raised under certain illusions. You're your own harshest critic. You stare in the mirror every day, looking for flaws. You've normalized positive attention. When people treat you well, you assume it's just politeness. You compare yourself to magazine covers and Hollywood fiction. That's not the standard. That's fantasy. Society told men to be stoic, but forgot to teach them self-recognition. You were told to downplay, stay humble, don't brag. You've spent a lifetime wearing armor, and now, you're surprised when someone sees what's beneath it and likes what they see. These distortions keep you blind to reality. But here's the deal. Practical stoicism isn't about denying the truth. It's about facing it with clarity. And the truth is you are seen. You are remembered. You are attractive. Let this shift your perspective, permanently. Once you notice the looks, don't just smile and move on. Own the evidence. Let it reshape how you show up in life. Walk into rooms knowing that people do respond to your presence. Let that affect your posture, your tone, your stride. Confidence is not arrogance, it's awareness. And confidence rooted in self-knowledge is stoic power. The kind of power that doesn't yell, doesn't beg, doesn't prove. It simply is. This changes everything, especially dating. You've been underestimating your value for years. That ends now. This realization transforms how you interpret signals from women. You no longer think, she's just being nice. You understand she's interested. You don't second-guess your appeal. You don't hesitate to start a conversation. You don't wait for permission to feel attractive. You already are. That shift changes your dating life. It shifts how you flirt, how you connect, how you carry yourself. Because when you start seeing what others have seen all along, you become unstoppable. The Stoic path forward: clarity, confidence, and ownership. Here's a little wisdom from the Old Stoics. Those silent masters of the inner game: know thyself. Accept what is real. Act with courage. This is not about ego. It's about truth. You've been walking blind to your own light. Now it's time to see it clearly and let it shine. Remember, the paths of wisdom are not paved with denial. They are lit by awareness. Step onto that path, brother. Walk with the quiet fire of a man who knows his worth. You don't need permission to be attractive. You just need to recognize it. And once you do, that's when everything changes. If you find today's content useful to you, don't forget to share your feelings and lessons with us. Or simply comment, "Very cool." It's a great encouragement for our channel makers. Thank you very much. Sign 6. Strangers open up to you easily. Don't ignore this. When people you've just met start revealing their pain, their hopes, their past, you're witnessing something rare. You're not just another face in the crowd. You're a presence, a calm force, a walking sense of permission. That's not luck, it's power. It's silent influence. When strangers feel safe enough to expose their truth in your company, it means your aura commands trust. Your presence disarms fear. You create a pocket of calm in a world obsessed with noise. That's not softness, that's strength. Emotional attractiveness is real, and it's mightier than physical appearance, and most men never even realize they have it. But you're beginning to, and that changes everything. You see, the Stoics, those ancient warriors of inner mastery, understood this. Epictetus, a man born a slave and later regarded as one of the greatest Stoic minds, taught that real influence begins not in dominance, but in self-possession. Seek not for events to happen as you wish, but wish for events to happen as they do, and your life will go smoothly. Apply this here. You're not chasing attention. You're attracting revelation. People feel grounded in your steadiness. They sense something in you they don't find in others. A man who listens, not just hears. A man who watches, not just looks. A man who understands before judging. That kind of power is silent, invisible, but it shakes the soul. You must realize this is no accident. When others lean into you, share with you, break their mask around you, it means you're winning at a deeper game. A game that doesn't need applause to declare victory. In a world starving for authenticity, you radiate it. That's the Stoic win. You don't chase attention, you embody value. Your warmth is a weapon. Your empathy is influence. And whether you realize it or not, you're walking with a kind of stoicism that rewrites rooms and shifts atmospheres. Own it. Don't brush this off. Society teaches men to measure their worth by physical dominance, loud success, or social status. But that's surface-level noise. Real men build presence. Real men make others feel seen. Real men are remembered by how safe they made people feel. That's how leaders are born. That's how legacies begin. Let's be clear. When people open up to you quickly, they're sensing a strength in you that's spiritual, not superficial. They're trusting your emotional gravity. That's no small thing. That's a calling. So answer it. Take this sign as proof. Proof that your emotional intelligence, your quiet confidence, your ability to be fully present, these are not side traits. These are king traits. Traits of a man who knows how to hold space without forcing it. Traits of a man who doesn't panic in silence. Traits of a man who stands where others crumble. The world needs more of that. The world needs you. So double down. Don't second-guess your gift. Don't underestimate your energy. Don't let the world convince you that emotional openness is weakness. It's mastery. It's depth. It's stoicism in motion. Epictetus would call it power over self. And that, my friend, is the rarest win of all. Sign 7. People mirror your behavior without realizing it. Don't overlook the small things. That subtle shift in body posture, that echo of your laugh, That uncanny way someone starts using your catchphrases like they've been saying them for years. This isn't coincidence. It's mirroring, a powerful, silent signal that you're more magnetic than you think. Mirroring is when someone subconsciously imitates your gestures, tone, expressions, even the rhythm of your words. They're not doing it to flatter you. They don't even realize they're doing it, but their unconscious mind has made the decision for them. Why? Because we mirror those we feel connected to, those we admire, or, more specifically, those we're attracted to. It's biology mixed with psychology. And if it's happening to you often, it's not random. You're not just someone in the room, you are the room, you have presence. Now, a man with an iron mind doesn't get cocky about this. He notices, he registers, but he stays rooted. That's old Stoic wisdom in action. Don't let the world's reflection of you become your ego's playground. Let it be confirmation, not confusion. You must understand when someone adjusts their body language to match yours. It's not just flattery, it's alignment. When they lower their voice because you've dropped yours, or lean in when you speak, they are signaling something deep: respect, interest, maybe even admiration. This is not always romantic. Sometimes it's social, sometimes professional, but either way, it means you're in a position of gravity. People orbit you. Be aware of these signals. Don't chase them. Notice them. That's the core of Stoic principles. Observe reality without ego, without exaggeration, and without apology. If someone mirrors your posture, say, folds their arms when you do, shifts their weight like you just did, or laughs right after you do, it's because your behavior sets the tone. You lead without trying to. That is attractive. It's the kind of invisible charisma most men don't even know they have. It slips under the radar but leaves a lasting imprint. You must cultivate this quietly. Stay grounded. Don't puff your chest out. Be the man who doesn't need to say much because the room already feels his presence. Be the one who lives by Stoic principles, who doesn't need validation but notices the cues when they come. That's power. And that's what makes you dangerously appealing. Not loud, not flashy, but quietly undeniable. Think of it this way: the more people reflect you, the more impact you carry. And impact, real impact, doesn't come from noise. It comes from steadiness, from a man who knows who he is and doesn't flinch when the world tries to test that. That is the essence of the iron mind. You don't need the crowd to cheer. You only need to watch how they adjust themselves when you walk in. And if their movements start to resemble yours, if their words carry your cadence, then you already know the truth that you're not chasing validation. You're leading the rhythm. So next time someone starts picking up your habits, your phrases, your pace, don't dismiss it. Don't second-guess it. Just smile inwardly. That's old Stoic wisdom whispering to you you're more attractive than you realize. If you've ever seen someone copy your posture, echo your words, or subtly match your energy, you're not imagining things. That's a powerful, unconscious sign they're drawn to you. This isn't coincidence. It's a reflection of your natural presence and quiet influence. Comment this below to affirm it. I carry a presence others naturally align with. Let it be a reminder of your silent strength and how much more you are than you realize. Sign 8. People are curious about your relationship status. You're at a cookout, or maybe it's a work conference, or the gym. You're just existing, holding a drink, minding your business, when someone tilts their head, smirks, and says, "So, are you seeing anyone?" Don't brush that off. That's not small talk. That's a signal. When people are curious about your relationship status, it means you're not invisible. You've stirred something: admiration, fascination, maybe even attraction. People don't ask questions like that to wallpaper. They ask it to someone they notice and can't quite figure out. It's not just what they say, it's how they say it. That sly tone, that knowing smile, the casual remark like, "I bet the ladies don't leave you alone." These aren't compliments in disguise. They're tells, subtle admissions that you're giving off more than you realize. You are radiating something quietly powerful. This kind of attention isn't always about raw looks. It's deeper than that. It's about presence, dignity, a kind of seasoned energy that comes with living on the paths of wisdom. You carry yourself with calm. You listen before you speak. You're confident, but not loud. You're interesting without begging for attention. That is the essence of practical stoicism. People sense it, they're drawn to it, and they want to know, is this man available? Don't downplay this. Recognize the signal. Too many men dismiss these interactions. You shrug and say, they're just being polite. Don't. That's a mistake. Don't underestimate your own impact. These aren't random moments, they're patterns, and patterns mean something. You're attractive, not just physically, but in your manner, your maturity, and your mystery. That's rare, and rare things get attention. Your energy speaks louder than words. Even if you're not actively trying to be charming, you may be projecting emotional availability, wisdom, or quiet strength. That's no accident. It comes from years of experience, self-reflection, and choosing the harder right over the easier wrong. In other words, you're following Stoic rules without realizing it. You're showing restraint. You know who you are. You've endured. You've grown. That inner work doesn't go unnoticed. It radiates. It's not about being flashy. It's about being solid. Be mindful of how you're perceived. Now, this doesn't mean you have to start swinging your dating life around like a trophy, but it does mean you should pay attention to how people react to you. The curiosity about your relationship status is a soft form of validation. Don't ignore it. Accept it with grace. Respond with dignity. Be flattered, but don't be flippant. Because underneath those questions, people are really asking, what's your story? How are you still so composed, grounded, and attractive? Are you available, or is all that strength already claimed? Live like a man who knows his worth. Whether you're single, divorced, widowed, or partnered, remember this when others are curious about your love life. It's a reflection of the energy you're putting out into the world. That energy doesn't come from chasing, it comes from building, from choosing the paths of wisdom, from walking the line between stillness and strength. So when they ask, are you taken? Smile, not smugly, not sheepishly. Smile like a man who knows the value of silence, of substance, and of self-mastery. Because when people want to know your relationship status, it means you're already unforgettable. Sign 9. People remember small details about you. You may not notice it, but when people recall small things you've said, your favourite, a joke you cracked in passing, a story you shared once and forgot, that's no accident. It's not just memory, it's proof that you made an impact. We don't hold on to details about people who blend in. We remember those who stand out. That's not coincidence, that's power, that's presence, that's attractiveness. When someone brings up a tiny moment you dismissed or quotes you from a throwaway conversation, it means your words, your energy, your essence landed, and it stuck. That is one of the clearest signs that you carry weight in a room, even if you don't always realize it. This isn't about vanity. It's about value, your value. And make no mistake, this kind of presence is rare. It's unforgettable. Don't brush it off. Don't downplay it. Recognize it. Use it. Own it. It means you have a kind of gravity. It means you live in a way that others notice, admire, and remember. We are not disturbed by what happens to us, but by our thoughts about what happens, said Epictetus. When others remember your words, it means your presence redefined their moment. That's Stoic power. That's legacy-level impact. In a world drowning in noise and distraction, the man who can be remembered wins. The man who carries himself with quiet fire, focused intent, and unshakable calm becomes impossible to ignore. That's what the ancients knew. That's how Stoicism wins. Not through shouting, but through strength. Not through force, but through force of character. If people remember what you said, you didn't just talk. You spoke truth. You spoke like a man who means what he says and lives what he believes. Let's be clear, this isn't about trying to be liked. It's about being respected. It's about commanding attention through quiet confidence. Your attractiveness comes not from chasing approval, but from earning memory. That's what a Stoic would understand. Epictetus didn't waste breath. Neither should you. Speak less, but make it matter. Live sharper, be present, make every word and action count. That's how Stoicism wins in modern life. Not through scrolling, not through complaining, but by being a man of presence, a man of value, a man of steel beneath the surface. That is how you become unforgettable. That is how you master yourself and win respect from others. So don't ignore the signs. When people recall your words, they're showing you your power. When they quote you, they're confirming your influence. When they remember what you forgot, they're proving you matter. That's victory. That's a signal that you are seen, heard, remembered. In a world where most people are forgotten the moment they leave the room, you remain. That is rare. That is real. That is strength. And strength, when channeled with wisdom, becomes leadership. Be the man who leaves an echo. Be the man who lingers in minds. Be the man who lives by principles, not approval. As Marcus Aurelius said, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Presence, principle, power. That's how you win. That's how Stoicism wins. That's how you become unstoppable. Thanks so much for watching. Remember, if people consistently treat you well, compliment you, or want to be around you, that's not just luck, that's a sign. You're more attractive than you've been giving yourself credit for. So here's my sincere advice. Stop brushing it off. Don't minimize your value just because you don't always see it in the mirror. Attractiveness is more than appearance. It's in your energy, your presence, and how you make others feel. So own it. Let that confidence shape how you show up every day. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one. 10 subtle signs you're every woman's secret crush. Old Stoic wisdom. The greatest happiness of life is the conviction that we are loved. Loved for ourselves, or rather, loved in spite of ourselves. Victor Hugo. Most men expect affection to come wrapped in bold declarations or obvious flirtation. But the truth is, women often express deep interest in far more nuanced ways. While many guys are focused on the loud and flashy signals, the most powerful signs are whispered, not shouted. Ever get the feeling that a woman sees something in you, but you can't quite explain why you think that instinct might not be wrong? She might not tell her friends outright, but she could be comparing every man she meets to you. You may be the quiet standard she holds others to, even if she never says it aloud. In this video, we're unpacking the subtle cues and understated behaviors that show when you're not just admired. You're the one she can't forget. Watch closely, because once you recognize these hidden signs, you'll understand the kind of silent impact you've truly made. Number 1. They accidentally bump into you often. Don't brush it off. Some coincidences are just a little too polished, a little too perfect, like the universe is playing Cupid on the sly. You're grabbing your usual black coffee. She's suddenly in line behind you. Again, you're taking your usual hallway shortcut at work, and there she is, pretending to fumble with her phone. You offhandedly mentioned an art fair last week, and surprise, she's there, just checking it out. No, this isn't fate doing its thing. It's subtle strategy. It's quiet intent wrapped in casual charm. This isn't stalking, don't get it twisted. It's more like soft pursuit, a delicate dance. She's not chasing, she's orbiting, because when a woman has a secret crush, she doesn't blow a trumpet, she doesn't grandstand, she listens, she takes mental notes, she uses old Stoic wisdom without even realizing it, studying your patterns, your likes, your routines, and slips into them like a shadow with a purpose. This is how attraction plays the long game. She's crafting moments that feel spontaneous, but are forged with precision. That's not randomness. That's interest in disguise. Be sharp. Be present. Don't dismiss the signs just because they whisper instead of shout. Men with an iron mind, men who live by Stoic principles, they don't get distracted by noise. They pay attention to pattern. And this pattern, it's her choosing proximity without asking for it. She's not showing up to every place on earth. She's showing up where you are. That means something. It's like old Stoic wisdom applied to romance. Don't waste words. Let actions reveal intent. She's not saying she likes you, but she's always there when it counts. That's not an accident. That's subtle courage. The kind of bravery that says, I want to be near you, but in a way that lets her keep her cool and her dignity. And don't be the guy who's too distracted or too full of himself to notice the elegance of her effort. Be the man who recognizes value in the little things. A Stoic doesn't need fireworks to feel the heat. He notices the ember. He understands that sometimes the quietest move speaks the loudest truth. Iron mind. Remember, you must use it. See what's not being said. Feel what's being shown. This is where attraction is built, not in grand gestures, but in a dozen small steps taken with care. So if she's always just passing by, if her timing is always suspiciously perfect, if she's there more than chance would allow, don't ignore it. Don't brush it off. That is the first sign. She's placing herself near you, gently but deliberately, because deep down she wants to feel your gravity pull her in. And a man grounded in old Stoic wisdom knows when someone steps into your orbit over and over. They're not lost. They're drawn. Number 2, you catch them staring often. When you catch a woman staring at you, not once, not twice, but often, you're not just imagining things. That's no accident. That's silent communication. Her eyes, they're the first traitor. They betray her thoughts long before her lips ever will. In the realm of old Stoic rules, words are often restrained. A woman may not tell you she's thinking about you. She may never confess that your presence stirs something inside her, but the eyes don't lie. Not when the soul is involved. Here's the thing when someone has a secret crush. They become a thief of glances. Quick ones, soft ones, lingering ones. You know the kind, that subtle look across the room when she thinks you're too focused on the speaker or your phone. That split-second connection when your eyes meet and hers dart away like she got caught trespassing. Don't ignore that flicker of nervous energy. That tiny smile that tries to hide itself behind a sip of coffee. That casual head turn that wasn't so casual after all. That's real. Let's walk down the paths of wisdom for a moment. Think about it. People don't stare at wallpaper. They don't sneak glances at things that don't matter to them. A woman who finds herself repeatedly pulled toward your presence is not doing it by accident. She's orbiting your energy, consciously or not. Let me give you a scene. You're in a team meeting, half listening. You raise your eyes, and boom, she's already looking at you. And like a startled deer, she looks down at her notebook like it's the most fascinating thing she's ever seen. Scribbles something, anything, pretends nothing happened. That's not professional curiosity. That's emotional magnetism. Be wise. Be observant. This is where practical stoicism kicks in. Don't rush. Don't assume. But don't ignore the signs either. A man who walks the paths of wisdom doesn't need a neon sign. He sees the soft signals for what they are. You must understand her glances are a confession she can't quite voice. They're loaded with questions she hasn't dared ask herself. Does he notice me? What if he knows? What if he feels it too? Now, don't be the guy who stares back like a deer in headlights. And definitely don't smirk like a teenager who just cracked a code. Be composed. Be gracious. Be the mountain, not the flame. That's practical stoicism in action. The truth is, if her eyes return to you again and again, you're in her thoughts more than she'll ever admit. Not just as a co-worker, not just as a friend, but as a man who lingers in her imagination. And don't forget, Stoic rules don't say be emotionless. They say be measured, recognize the sign, respect it, don't exploit it, but also don't ignore it. Because whether she knows it or not, you've become the lead character in a quiet narrative she's writing inside her mind. Pay attention, stay grounded, move with clarity. Every glance is a line in a story where you, perhaps, are more than just a passing thought. You're the man who makes her pause without knowing why. And when a woman pauses, when she lingers, when she stares, she's no longer just watching. She's wondering, and that, my friend, is a powerful thing. Number 3, They remember the randomest things you've said. That's not coincidence. That's not small talk. That's not polite listening. That is deep, deliberate attention. It means you've made an impact, and in ways you probably didn't realize. Mentioned your favorite movie once, just once, and she brings it up out of the blue. That's not a fluke. That's focus. That's emotional investment. That's what happens when you're more than just background noise in someone's life. You become a presence in their thoughts. That's how you know you're every woman's secret crush. It's subtle. It's quiet. But it's real. When someone secretly desires you, they don't listen like the rest of the world. They absorb. They tune into your voice like it matters. Because to them, it does. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak, said Epictetus, the great Stoic philosopher. And when a woman listens to you like that, like your words echo in her memory, you must understand what that means. She values you, not the surface, not the mask, the man beneath it all. Stoicism teaches us to remain calm, but never blind. You must see the signs. You must recognize the signals. And when a woman remembers the offhand personal things, your favorite childhood snack, that small town you mentioned wanting to visit, the way your grandfather taught you to fish, she's not just listening, she's connecting. That's not charm, that's resonance. That's what makes you unforgettable. Don't underestimate this. Don't ignore it. Don't be passive. Let this be a call to wake up. In today's world of noise, filters, and shallow conversation, true listening is a lost art. And when a woman practices it with you, take notice. It's a power move dressed in gentleness. It's stoic in form, fierce in meaning. She may not say it out loud, but her memory of your words speaks volumes. It says, you matter. It says, she sees you. It says, you win. You win her intrigue. You win her time. You win a place in her heart she's not giving out to everyone, as Epictetus would put it. First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. You want to be the man who's remembered, respected, and quietly adored. Then act like it. Pay attention to who's paying attention. That's the code of modern Stoicism. That's how men win. Not by shouting, but by observing. Not by chasing, but by noticing who's been listening all along. Let this sharpen your edge. Let it renew your self-worth. Let it reinforce your discipline. Don't brush it off as random. Don't excuse it as luck. She remembers because you are worth remembering. That is victory. That is power. That is the essence of being a man grounded in Stoicism, who sees beyond the obvious and values the hidden truths. So next time she recalls something you barely remember saying, don't laugh it off. Don't act casual. Let it hit you. Let it remind you who you are. A man who leaves an impression without trying. A man who wins without noise. A man who walks the path of Stoicism and walks it with honor. If you found this insightful, give it a like, drop a comment, and share it with someone who should hear this. For more timeless wisdom and powerful truths, hit that subscribe button, comment to remember, I am unforgettable because I speak with meaning. Let this affirmation remind you that what you say matters, and the right people are always listening. Number 4, you're the benchmark in her stories. Here's the thing most men miss. And it's not just about charm or being the guy who opens doors and listens with his eyes, not just his ears. It's deeper. When a woman starts dropping your name in conversations that have absolutely nothing to do with you, pay attention. That's no accident. That's a signal. You've become the silent yardstick, the standard she holds up against every other man she meets. That ghoster, he's a letdown because he isn't you. That guy who flakes on plans or forgets to ask how her day was, he's a shadow of the man you are. And when she says things like, you'd never do that, or you actually get it, don't brush it off as casual praise. That's not flattery, it's recognition. She sees something in you that sticks. An old Stoic wisdom would tell you when someone keeps returning to your presence in their absence. It's no coincidence, it's meaning. She's not comparing just to compare. No, She's measuring. The way you speak, calm, thoughtful, no wasted words. The way you treat people, like their time and dignity matter. The way you listen, not to reply, but to understand. All of it, quietly, confidently, backed by Stoic principles. You don't just show up, you show her what it looks like to be a man of substance. That's why you're her invisible standard. You represent what she hopes others might be, but usually aren't. And every time another guy disappoints her, your value rises, not in loud declarations, but in quiet, consistent contrast. This is what happens when you live by an iron mind. You don't need to chase. You don't need to charm. You simply are steady, solid, reliable. And in a world where attention spans are short and authenticity is rare, that's magnetic. Understand this when you live by the old Stoic wisdom, when you stop trying to impress and start living in integrity, you naturally become unforgettable. Not just because you're kind or capable, but because you don't flinch, you don't waver, you stand for something. So when she starts weaving you into her narratives, dropping your name like a subconscious refrain, that's a message hidden in plain sight. Don't miss it. She's not just talking about you, she's thinking about you, wishing others were more like you. Wishing, perhaps, you were more than just a friend. And if you've ever wondered how you could possibly be someone's secret crush without even realizing it, this is how. Not with grand gestures or poetic lines, but with the simple, unshakable presence of a man who knows who he is. Don't brush this off. Be wise enough to see the truth behind her words. That's not noise, that's signal. That's your impact echoing through her thoughts. That's the strength of Stoic principles, subtle, powerful, undeniable. She's drawn to your calm, your depth, your refusal to be shaken by the superficial. That's the mark of a man with an iron mind. That's what sets you apart, not just in her eyes, but in a world that sorely needs more of your kind. And that's no small thing. That's legacy. That's attraction with roots, not wings. Don't underestimate it. Embrace it. Live it. Number 5. They dress up or glow around you. Gentlemen, listen closely. In the realm of subtle signs, this one speaks volumes, not in shouts, but in the quiet elegance of effort. You see, effort is the silent symphony of attraction, and when a woman begins to glow a little brighter just because you're in the room, she's not doing it for fun. She's doing it for you. Let's break this down like a man who understands the Stoic rules and walks the paths of wisdom, not easily fooled by noise, but perceptive to the quiet signals most men overlook. So what does it look like? Maybe her eyeliner suddenly looks like it was done by a professional makeup artist. Maybe her outfit hugs her form just right. Maybe that same woman who came to the office in sneakers and a ponytail last week is now in heels and a perfume that lingers in your memory. And she only ever smells like that when you're around. Coincidence? Don't be naive. This isn't about vanity. It's about value. Specifically, how much she values how you see her. Women don't go to battle with their wardrobe or perfect their lip gloss for men they feel nothing for. When she makes herself shine, it's because she wants to stand out in your eyes. And it's not always grand gestures. The signs are often subtle. A brush of the hair, a tug on her blouse, a quick glance to check her reflection in the window when you walk in. Maybe she stands a little straighter when you're near. That's not posture. That's intention. When the soul is touched, the body responds. Always old Stoic wisdom. Don't ignore the details. A dress she wore once, the one you casually said looked good on her, suddenly makes a comeback. That's not an accident. That's memory meeting desire. That's practical stoicism at play, acting with intent, without saying a word. Now, let's be clear. Don't mistake this effort for general friendliness. If she looks like she just stepped out of a magazine when she knows you'll be around, but shows up casual with everyone else, that's not friendliness. That's focus. You're not just another guy in the room. You're the reason the room changed. And here's the twist. You must respect the effort, not in words alone, but in how you carry yourself. The paths of wisdom don't lead through arrogance or cluelessness. They demand awareness. Attention, Presence. He who notices nothing gains nothing. Another Stoic whisper. Don't fumble this. If she's signaling value, don't play the fool by acting blind. Be the man who's grounded. Be the one who recognizes the difference between everyday and extra. Because when a woman consistently elevates herself in your presence, it means something. And if you're wise, you'll let that mean something to you too. So, next time you notice that subtle sparkle, that extra attention to detail, that little glow when you enter the room, don't just smile and move on. Be alert, be present, be worthy of the glow. Because in this quiet, graceful gesture, she's telling you, without ever saying a word, you are worth the effort. And if you're living by Stoic rules and embracing practical Stoicism, you'll know exactly what to do with that kind of message. Not chase, not boast, simply acknowledge and act with calm confidence. That, gentlemen, is how you walk the paths of wisdom, and maybe, just maybe, how you become every woman's secret crush. She doesn't glow up for everyone, only for the man who matters. If you've ever noticed a woman shining just a little brighter around you, you might be her secret crush. And if you believe effort speaks louder than words, drop this in the comments. I'm the man she shines for. Like the video, subscribe for more unshakable wisdom, and remember, real power is quiet, but it's always noticed. Number 6. Their friends act weird around you. That's not random. That's a signal. A flare in the night sky, a tactical reveal. When her inner circle starts behaving differently, smiling wider, nudging her when you speak, tossing sly glances your way, it's because you're the subject of late-night group chats and whispered secrets. You've already made your mark, and they know it. This is how women operate strategically, subtly, like chess masters. They talk, they analyze, and when a woman is secretly crushing on you, her friends know everything. That's why they're suddenly curious, overly friendly, or playing matchmaker in disguise. They may ask strangely personal questions, test your vibe, or coincidentally vanish to leave the two of you alone. That isn't fate, it's intention. Controlled, calculated, considerate and honor. You've entered the inner circle's theatre of war, and the role you're being cast in is not background noise. You're the main character. Don't dismiss it. Don't second-guess it. Recognize it. Read the room like a Stoic, clear-eyed, rational, and disciplined. Epictetus said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. So, pay attention. Don't be naive. Don't think you're imagining it. Stoicism teaches us to see things as they are, without illusion, without delusion. If her friends light up when you walk in, if their laughter lingers after you speak, if they act like they're already rooting for you, that's your sign, that's your intel, that's your win. Modern life moves fast. In a world flooded with distractions, subtlety is power. Most men miss these cues because they're chasing noise. But the wise man, the Stoic man, listens, watches, decodes. He doesn't fall into fantasy. He moves with strategy. You must notice what others overlook, because recognizing these signs gives you an edge, a winning edge. And winning isn't about games, it's about mastery. Mastery of perception, mastery of self, mastery of the moment. That's how Stoicism wins, again and again. Quietly, powerfully. Let's be real. Her friends aren't acting strange for no reason. People don't change their behavior unless they've been primed, influenced, informed. If they're treating you like a VIP, it's because you've been stamped with her interest. Their approval is the early gate to something bigger. Don't get cocky. Get clear. Don't ignore it. Own it. That is your moment. That is your opportunity. Epictetus would remind you, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. So react like a man who knows, a man who leads, a man who wins. Use this sign as a compass, a directional marker, a call to awareness. Don't flinch, don't drift. Let it fuel your confidence. Let it remind you that attraction often speaks in code, and you must become fluent in reading it. When her friends shift their energy toward you, when they test, tease, or tailor situations to your benefit, That's not coincidence. That's design. That's power in motion. And now the question is, will you rise to meet it? Will you stand like a Stoic? Will you win with awareness, or will you stumble, blind to the game that's already in play? You must be the man who sees it. You must be the man who owns it. You must be the man who wins. Like Stoicism wins, not loudly, but unquestionably. Let the others miss the message. Let them chase noise. But not you. You know better. Number 7. Women get a little nervous or fidgety around you. Now don't overlook this. It's not just a passing quirk. It's a golden clue from the universe, a quiet little signal that you, my friend, might just be her secret crush. There's a certain energy in the air when someone's holding back their feelings, a subtle storm of excitement and hesitation. And if you've got an iron mind sharpened by old Stoic wisdom, you'll notice it. Maybe she's usually poised, quick with her words, the kind who breezes through a room like she owns it. But when it's just you and her, the dynamic shifts. Her confidence wavers, not in a dramatic way, but in the tiniest of trembles. She starts twirling her hair like it's suddenly turned into a mystery, tapping her fingers like she's composing a silent symphony, adjusting her jacket a dozen times, or scrolling through her phone like it holds the answer to what her heart can't say. Don't misread it as disinterest. Don't you dare. That's not boredom. It's battle. She's fighting off every instinct that's screaming. Say something because deep down, she wants to impress you without looking like she's trying. That's old Stoic wisdom in action. Emotion under pressure, hidden beneath the surface. Picture this. You're mid-conversation, telling a story that's only mildly amusing, and boom, she laughs. Not a polite chuckle, a big, sudden, too loud laugh that surprises even her. Then, that instant flicker of embarrassment. Her hand flies to her mouth. Her cheeks flush. She might even drop her water bottle or fumble her coffee cup like gravity suddenly got personal. That awkward chaos. That's not clumsiness. That's chemistry. Her body is betraying her cool because you've made a dent in her armor. And you didn't even have to try. That's the beauty of it. That's what it means to walk through life with Stoic principles, quiet strength, solid presence, the kind that gets under people's skin in the best way possible. So pay attention. Be still. Observe. When she's fidgeting, she's not fleeing. She's wrestling. Wrestling with the fact that something about you makes her heart beat louder than her thoughts. You didn't ask for it. You didn't flash a fancy car or rehearse a pickup line. You were just there, grounded, unshakable. And that's exactly why she's shaken. That's the silent victory of a man who lives with an iron mind. No drama, no chase, just presence. And let me be clear, this nervousness, this light stammering, these small stumbles, they are the sweet, silent confession of a woman who's already halfway yours. You must learn to see what others miss. You must learn to read the room like an ancient scroll. Because in these moments, these tiny, jittery, beautiful little tells, lies the proof of your impact, not in loud applause or flirtatious one-liners, but in the way her body betrays her poker face. That, gentlemen, is the old Stoic wisdom whispering in your ear. She feels something. And that something, it's you. And if you find today's content very interesting, please give me a word of encouragement by commenting, "Very interesting," in the comments section. That is a huge motivation for us. Thank you. Number 8. She opens up about personal things. Don't miss it. Don't brush it off. When a woman starts peeling back the layers of her life and sharing those quiet, personal memories, that's not random. It's not filler. It's a sign, a subtle, golden one, and you'd be wise to recognize it. She might talk about her childhood, the good and the bruised. Maybe she shares the kind of dreams she keeps close to the chest, the ones she's not sure will ever happen, but hopes you'll understand anyway. Or perhaps it's a quiet confession about a hard time she barely made it through. Now, let's get something straight. Women don't offer this kind of emotional currency to just anyone. Not to a co-worker, not to the guy who held the door, not to her cousin's neighbour's friend she saw at brunch. No, this is reserved. This is real. When she shares, she isn't just talking. She's opening a door. And behind that door, that's her world, her real world. The one she doesn't post about, the one that doesn't wear lipstick, the one that's searching for meaning, connection, and maybe for you. That's right. When she says, I haven't told this to anyone else, pause, listen. That's not just vulnerability. That's trust wrapped in hope. That's a flare in the night sky. I want you to see who I really am. Be smart, be still, be worthy. Because this isn't just flirtation. This is the path of something deeper, wiser, more enduring. And if you're a man who's walked through enough of life's fire, you'll understand that real connection is built not on performance, but presence. This is practical stoicism at work, the kind of steady, grounded masculinity that doesn't flinch or fidget when a woman offers him her truth. The old Stoics had a rule, be silent, or say something better than silence. So when she speaks from the soul, don't interrupt it. Honor it. Let her words stretch out and find your understanding. Because when a woman feels truly seen, without judgment, without bravado, she remembers that deeply. That's what most men miss. They hear the story, but they don't see the signal. Don't be that guy. Be the one who listens with his eyes. The one who recognizes that this, not flowers, not compliments, not swagger. This is the moment you step onto the real path of wisdom. When she opens up, she's not just revealing her past, she's offering a piece of her present and maybe a glimpse of her future, one where you might belong if you know how to handle it. So here's the deal. Don't rush it. Don't joke it away. Don't treat it like a confession in a therapy session. Instead, respond like a man who's lived, a man who's read the Stoic rules not just in books, but in life itself, a man who understands that these quiet moments are where love starts to root, not loudly, but deeply. If you're on the lookout for the subtle signs you're her secret crush, this one's not just a hint, it's a declaration, whispered in trust. Take it seriously, because any man can impress a woman's eyes, but only a wise man can reach her soul. And that, gentlemen, is the difference between passing flirtation and lasting affection, forged by practical stoicism, tested by time, and guided by the paths of wisdom. Number 9. She finds little reasons to stay in touch. Pay attention. When a woman sends you a meme, a random question, or tells you some trivial story about her day, she's not just bored, she's not just filling time, she's anchoring herself to you. She's testing the waters without diving in. It's quiet, subtle, and deliberate. It's not the words that matter, it's the pattern. She's keeping the line open. That's no accident. That's interest. That's desire in disguise. That's the game behind the game. A woman who doesn't care, disappears. She won't waste a second. But a woman who keeps you on her radar, no matter how trivial the message, is fighting her own curiosity. She wants to know more. She wants to keep you close. You are in her orbit, and she's making sure you stay there. Don't be fooled by the surface. Look deeper. Every just checking in is a breadcrumb. Every you have to see this show is a map. You are being invited quietly, gently, into her world. And if you're wise, if you've trained your mind through the cold, clear lens of Stoicism, you'll see it for what it is, a sign of silent affection. As Epictetus taught, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. Don't just hear the words, listen to the intention, decode the pattern, see what others miss. You must train your eyes to see what's real. In Stoicism, there are no coincidences, only causes and effects. If she's showing up again and again, without a reason, she is the reason. Recognize it, own it, don't dismiss it, don't second-guess it. Win by awareness, win by clarity, win by mastering perception. There is power in understanding the quiet moves of others. Let's make something clear. This isn't about playing games. This isn't about chasing. It's about leading. A man grounded in Stoicism doesn't flinch. He doesn't act needy. He simply understands and positions himself like a lighthouse in a storm, strong, still, watching. A woman reaches out again and again, because you are the calm in her chaos. She feels something around you that's different, something real, that matters. Let's bring it to the modern world. You've got texts flying, distractions buzzing, people spinning in 1,000 directions, and she stops her scroll to send you something random. That's no accident. That's strategy wrapped in spontaneity. That's intention wearing a mask. You've stirred something in her that she can't quite label yet, but she wants to keep the door open. That's where you come in. You must stand your ground. Be patient. Be watchful. Be ready. The man who wins is the one who waits with strength, not desperation. Don't downplay small signs. Don't let the subtle escape you. Don't be passive when the signs are active. If she's reaching out just because, it's because she wants to stay connected. You must notice. You must decide. You must act from wisdom, not impulse. This is the art of presence. This is the practice of power. This is how you win. Through stoicism, through discipline, through decoding what most men ignore. Epictetus said it best: man is not worried by real problems so much as by his imagined anxieties about real problems. So don't overthink, but don't underread either. Stay sharp, stay still, stay sovereign. She's talking to you for a reason. Now ask yourself, are you man enough to see why? If you've ever wondered whether she truly sees you as more than just a friend, pay close attention to those random messages. They're rarely random at all. Subtle consistency is louder than grand gestures. Now comment below. I recognize the signs, and I see through the silence. Say it out loud in the comments. Let yourself and her know you're finally seeing what was there all along. Number 10. She's extra tuned into how you're feeling. When a woman locks into your emotional wavelength, notices the subtle downturn in your tone, picks up on your stress before you even speak it, or catches that you're not quite yourself, don't be blind to the signal. This isn't some random act of nicety. Nope, sir. This is emotional intelligence on high alert, and more often than not, it's directed with purpose. At you. When she asks, "Are you okay?" and it sounds less like small talk and more like soul talk, that's not just concern. That's a woman who's emotionally invested. She remembers that rough day you mentioned in passing. She follows up. Days later, she listens, not just with her ears, but with that quiet attentiveness that says you matter. And let's be clear, that kind of tuning in isn't accidental. It's deliberate, meaningful, and deeply revealing. You must see it for what it is, a subtle but serious sign you've become her secret crush. She's not just hearing your words, she's feeling them. That's not a friend move. That's not what casual does. That's connection, the kind that's wrapped in care and coloured with curiosity. Don't mistake emotional attentiveness for friendly manners. Women aren't generally spending their energy decoding and absorbing the emotional ebbs and flows of every man in the room. If she's attuned to your moods like a radar picking up every emotional frequency, it's because her heart's already halfway in, maybe more. She's investing time, attention, and empathy, all precious resources. That kind of effort doesn't show up for just anyone. It shows up when something's stirring beneath the surface. And if you're honest with yourself, you've probably felt it too. Here's where old Stoic wisdom becomes your anchor. Don't lose your cool. Don't get flattered and float off in a cloud of ego. Be aware, be present, and recognize this kind of connection for what it is rare. Stoic principles teach us to observe life without illusion. And this is no illusion. Her attentiveness is real, her care is consistent, and her interest is unmistakably you. When a woman subtly weaves herself into the rhythm of your emotions, it's because you've left an impression. You've awakened something. Maybe it's your iron mind. Maybe it's the calm certainty in your presence. Maybe it's the way you speak less and mean more. Whatever it is, she's seeing it and feeling it. Don't downplay this. Don't be dismissive. And for the love of all things grounded in Stoic principles, don't second-guess your instincts. If she's checking in, circling back, or offering comfort when you didn't even ask for it, it's not random. That's care wrapped in subtlety. That's attraction disguised as concern. And that's what it looks like when a woman is trying, not to impress you, but to connect with you. So pay attention, gentlemen. There's wisdom in noticing what's not being said. There's power in emotional awareness. And there's a quiet kind of love that speaks in small questions and big silences. Let your iron mind keep you steady, but don't let it make you blind. Because sometimes, when she asks if you're okay, what she's really saying is, I care about you more than you know. And old Stoic wisdom tells us, when you find someone who listens to your silences, listen back. And that wraps up 10 subtle signs you're every woman's secret crush, old Stoic wisdom. If you found any of this helpful or eye-opening, go ahead and give the video a like. Share it with someone who'd enjoy it, and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next. Got something to add or want to share your thoughts? I'd love to hear from you. Drop your feedback or questions in the comments below. Let's have a real conversation. Thanks for watching. And remember, wisdom isn't just about knowing, it's about applying. Until next time, stay sharp and stay true.